child and Valoran has heard the tale before about the cursed mummy boy who felt his heart no more. So sad and lorn, the helpless lad, Amumu was his name. He ventured out to find a friend and learn about his bane. For many years, young Amumu traveled through the lands, determined to make friends if only they would understand. But even when Amumu stood upon the ledge of home, his hope would disappoint him and he would remain alone. But then the curse began to whisper in his ear and would confirm what was Amumu's biggest fear. It pledged that never shall someone become his friend. It pledged that he shall be alone until his end. But sorrow and despair became too much to bear. The moment when Amumu realized what he had done, too late it was for him, for them, the evil curse had won. The anger and the anguish overwhelmed his fragile soul and caused a wicked tantrum that he never could control.
to hold our heads up high and beat the drum to what we love. Risk the fall, or we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of the world that we defy. The ray of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Zero Gravity Gaming in the IBS division. We got some action for you coming out today for week 3 of the spring split as we have Monkeys in Training taking on Quake in a best of 3 series. I'm Rye Chains, joined by Michael. What's going on, man?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm just ready to see 2 top teams in the division take each other on. Both of these squads sitting at 2-0. Monkeys in Training beating Feed the Dream Black 2-0 last week, and Quake beating Crosspoint Koalamos as well in 2-0 fashion. So we should be in form for some solid IBS play here today.
Yeah, this should be really exciting. As Ryan was just saying, we have both these teams winning their matchups last week. These teams are both sitting 2-0 on the season, so one of these teams will for sure pick up their first loss today. And before we head into this draft, what are you expecting to see off the bat?
Well, we know that the mid laner for Arcquake Phoenix is an avid Lux player, going, almost 700 games of Lux last season, which is really nuts to me. But I gotta respect the hustle there. And also, we saw in the first week, week one, where we casted Arcquake, we also saw the Viger coming out for Phoenix. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Monkeys can do and try to pinch this mid lane pool, because Phoenix was a beast in those games.
And as we know of Monkeys last week, we have them. They chose the same three champions. They chose the same three champions. Their first picks in both of the games. They chose Olaf and then Victor Senna. This game, they're once again on blue side. So I mean, we can no longer, since Ark obviously picked up on this and saw that they picked the Olaf twice. So they banned away the Olaf, but we still could see them put some priority on Victor and Senna.
Yeah, Victor and Senna. Senna is one of these AD carries that's rising in popularity due to the recent buffs coming out for this champion. Those buffs being that there's an increased rate of spawn for um, the ghoul
Souls.
drops on minions that were not last hit, and then also the Senna Q procking Kraken Slayer. So that is going to be interesting to see if we go for there. We're going to get these last round bands rounded out for the teams. Arcquake going for the Kaisa Victor. Monkeys rounded out with the Lux and Sejuani taking away that pool from Phoenix. And I'm going to go with the Hecarim first pick.
Hecarim's still obviously very strong. There's a lot that he can do. Even if he's not going the full carry build himself, it's really hard to team fight around the Hecarim just with the ultimate from him. It's really disrupted in these team fights. But then we see Arcquake responding off the bat with the Swain. We know this to be a flex pick. We've seen it in both mid and support. And I can tell you guys that last week, Arcquake put that in the support role on Rednick. And we also see the Rammus locked in the jungle.
Revis is an interesting pick, I think. Obviously, you have the taunt, you have Powerball to lock down the Hecarim. But what do you think about this pick? Is this a counter pick?
I'm sure it's intended to be. I'm not
You
really
think it'll work
sure.
though?
It's. I mean, it depends who monkeys surround their comps with. I mean, Rammus, if you get, I mean, three other champions that are not trying to auto attack, then Rammus can lose a little bit of his power. And this isn't Wild Rift Rammus, so we're not seeing Bone like crazy, just having passive rolling ball and then the jump ultimate. Well, not yet for that ultimate, at least.
Yeah, and we see the Gallia is going to be the second pick coming out for Monkeys, and this is a really, really strong mid jungle duo.
It's
At least what we can expect. Could be a flex pick into the bot lane still, but these two champions work really well together, with the Hecarim being able to ult in, give the Galio heroic entrance, basically just body slam down, get a full 5-man knockup coming out here. And then Nico is going to be the last pick of this first half of the draft for the Monkeys. What do you think about Nico?
I mean, if you're staring down at this as Quake, you see Galio and Nico, and you're not sure where those picks are going. You lock in the Aurelia because you know that's a safe pick, and if you really wanted to, you could send that in either mid or um, top lane. And we saw Captain Ryu take it with success in the top lane last week, so we could see that going there again. Or we could see that again in the mid lane. But with the Nico locked in, we still don't know exactly where those picks are going. So we need to wait and decide, and that puts Arcquake in a little bit of a tough position trying to figure out what to ban.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that we do know is that the 80 carries most likely for both of these teams have not been picked at. Obviously, Swin can go in the bottom lane, but I expect to see more traditional 80 carries here. We have the set and the Pantheon banned out for Arcquake. Monkey is going to respond with the brand ban, as well as this last one should be coming in here in a few seconds. But yeah, I would
This could be a
imagine
Veigar ban right here.
it could be. I don't think it's a bad idea. We saw
Hmm.
Phoenix. Yeah, there you go. They're listening to the cast. They know. They know they're listening. But Monkey's gonna round it out with the Vagar band. We're gonna see what Arcquake decides to go for here. Gonna show a little bit of a little bit of their cards, hopefully, if you are the Monkeys here, because still some flex picks coming out.
I think you
But
just
we'll see.
I think you just choose your ADC right here. Or not, true. But picking Lissandra, we know that where these champions are going. We know that Aurelia is going to be in the top lane, and we know that Swain's going to be in the bot lane either as the carry in that lane or the support. So they still have that little bit of possibility there. They're going to be able to see what Monkeys picks and be able to draft accordingly. But I mean, of course, Monkeys has to finish out the draft here. So there still are a lot of strong ADCs open. So what do you think they could pick up? What do you think they're going to pick up, rather?
Kais is banned, so I think Senna obviously could be the option here. We'll see. Malphite. Okay, interesting, interesting. So
So
looks like it's
Galio
Malphite pick.
support
Yeah, for the top lane, Galio gonna be taken to the support role. You can pick. There's a few things you can pick. You pick Lucian. You could pick Jin. Jin is not really the best into Swain, but it's doable. I would say it's definitely doable. Um, I think
Samira
this Malphite will be. Yeah, Samira could be.
or not.
Okay. All right. Well, there
I think
is
it
a.
could be. I
It,
think it's Nico carry. I think that's the most likely thing. No.
maybe it's definitely possible. I'm a bit confused at this draft.
Killistera has played.
I'm a bit confused, a little bit confused. They got a lot of flex picks going on here. There's a lot of different options that it could be.
Oh,
But we do know we kind of.
Killistera has played 14 games on the Nico, so that should be going into their hands in the bot lane. And then we see the Jin to round out Quake's comp.
Well, the thing is, we kind of know we can kind of figure out what Quake is doing, right? You're gonna send Aurelia top for Captain Ryu. You're gonna put obviously Ram's gonna be the jungle, Lissandra in the mid lane for Phoenix, and then Jin and Swain in the bottom lane. And I think this Jin Swain matchup is actually pretty scary.
Yeah, this Jin Swain matchup's definitely very scary. You choose the Pike into it, so you have a very aggressive support, but you really don't want to pull in the Swain, especially once he hits that level 6 mark. Jin is vulnerable, but having that Swain in front of him is a very daunting person to get past.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think you make some good points there. And we are now going to go into the actual draft on the client here. We already know the picks and the bans, so this should run through relatively quickly here. But we have still yet to see what Literal Monkeys will want to do with this composition. We kind of have an idea with this Nico in the bottom lane. Very interesting. I haven't really played it that much or seen it that much, to be quite honest with you. But Nico Pike could be a potentially volatile lane.
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit of a pocket pick coming out for Killistera, and they've built AP on this Nico, so I don't think we're gonna be seeing any of the on-hit Nico. But this pick's a very strong team fighting tool, and if you look at Monkeys in training, that's what they're trying to do. They just want a team fight. They're not really built to split push. You have Galio and Malphite as your solo laners, so you're just trying to fight. And if you throw all of your things at Quake, hopefully you kill them.
Yeah, I think so. This team fight composition is really scary. You have multiple ways to get the Galio in with the heroic entrance. And just getting in onto the back line of Arc. And especially with a Jin who's not known to be the most mobile AD carry. Obviously the Gale Force is gonna be picked up for the Jin, but you know, one little dash is not gonna be enough to get away from a Hecarim, a Galio, and Malphite diving on your face. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I think if you are the Jin, your team fight should revolve around just being far back enough to where hopefully you don't have to go in, you just try to W and ult. And then hopefully you're able to pick off Nico or Hecarim. And then it's really hard for Monkeys in Training to actually hit through with the likes of Swain and Rammus.
Yeah, the thing is, there's some beefy tanks on both sides. I'd say that Monkeys is more tanky overall. Thing I want to mention though is that this Hecarim pick in the jungle is really good when you're able to build Moonstone and Staff of Flowing Water on it. I mean, I don't really see anyone that could build that this game.
Yeah, I don't think you really have any good options on either of these teams for a Moonstaff. I mean, I guess you could go Moonstaff Swain, but I'm not really
No
sure
way,
that's the
bro.
move.
No way, bro. Yeah, either way, we're about to finish up with our second stage of bans here. And we'll see these bottom laners rounded out. And it is confirmed now with these picks. Well, not yet confirmed, but at least we have a better idea. It's going to be the Malphite in the top lane, Hecarim in the jungle, and then
Run
Galio
for
in the
you
mid
so
lane.
far?
I mean, you know, I'm just reiterating. I'm just reiterating what's good.
Killistera's gonna go on the
Hey,
Pike.
give me some Malphite bot. Give me some Malphite AP. Let's go. We're in.
You
That's
know,
all I know.
I guess so. But if you are the side of Quake, you don't necessarily want a team fight. Captain Ryu is going to be in those side lanes and is going to just trying to be pushing. And if you're having a successful game as them, you just need to be in that side lane. You don't needs a team fight ever. It's going to be hard to stop you.
Yeah, it is gonna be really hard. Just overall, like both of these team compositions, kind of just want to get in there and dive. And is there any specific volatile lane matchup that you're seeing just right off the bat?
In terms of volatility, it definitely has to be this bot lane, just because with Jin and Swain against the Nico and Pyke, you're definitely going to be having somebody that's trying to fight there. In the top lane, you have the Malphite Aurelia, so it's really not going to be too eventful. You because you have, I mean, you have the Malphite up there, and then you have the Aurelia, who's pretty hard countered by it. There could be damage, there could be some aggression up there, but I assume not too much. So I definitely want to see these junglers putting their attention towards that bot lane because I think that's where this game is going to be win or lost.
Yeah, that's a good point, definitely. But I mean, I don't want to, fail to mention the top lane matchup that we have here. Captain Raya is one of these top laners that is just very, very strong. One of the better top laners in this division as well. And Crockpot has put in work for himself on his games as well. Obviously, he's been more relegated to sort of a tank role. We saw some Ornn last week. We get the Malphite this game. So we'll see what happens there. It should be relatively interesting. In the jungle, obviously, Hecarim is going to be a way, way stronger power pick. Just coming out against this Rammus. And I think it's not really the best Rammus game, especially because there's no traditional AD carry for the monkeys.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're 6 foot max, they might have been playing too much Wild Rift and not have been playing enough actual League because that champ seems insane in Wild Rift, but not I haven't seen any of it recently.
Is Wild Rift out yet?
Not in the States.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Actually, I have no justification to be quite honest. But either way, we still have about a minute and 40 seconds left on this competitive integrity spectator delay. We've already
Well,
talked a little bit about the volatility of the bottom lane. Um, I don't. Yeah, I agree. I don't think top lane will be too crazy. I think as long as Crockpot doesn't get caught off guard with the Aurelia damage coming out, stacking up that passive, and he should be mostly okay. This Malphite is just gonna be able to stack the armor, but
y-
the damage
well,
profiles on the damage profile is gonna say on MIT is kind of skewed a little bit
yeah, I mean, it's definitely very impactful that these lanes get ahead, or I guess that somebody on their team gets ahead because with the Nikos and Hecarim as your primary damage dealers, if they fall behind, you're not going to be able to punch through the enemy team. But something that I will ask of you is, what do you take of this mid lane, or specifically Phoenix playing this Lissandra? Because we know them for playing the Vigar and the Lux, so this Lissandra seems like a little bit of a change of face for them.
Yeah, Vagar and Lux are obviously, two champions where you're able to just, sit back. You have good zone control. You have the box if you're Vagar. You have the roots and the ease if you're Lux. And so I think it'll be a bit different. Lissandra's one of these champions where you have to just get in the back lines. You got to dive in. You got to press R on someone. Um, so I'm interested to see if Phoenix actually is able to play this style. It's very like it's hard, definitely. If you're used to playing these, backline carries that all they want to do is, not get hit by anything and then switch to the Lissandra right away. And it's a completely like 180 in terms of gameplay. So,
And I think
you know,
I think
I think
especially their role in this game is very impactful because if they ever get onto the Nico or the Hecarim, one Lissandra ult can just ruin their monkey's entire team fight. True.
yeah, I agree. I agree. You cut out a little bit, so I
Oh,
missed the
my
first
bad.
part you're saying, but whatever you said, I agree. I 100% agree with you.
These team fights, what I was saying is these team fights fall a lot onto Lissandra because if Lissandra can ever get onto the Nico or the Hecarim, it's monkeys does not have the damage to keep the fight going. If one of those people gets Lissandra ulted,
Yeah, I agree. I agree. One thing I'm looking to see is if there's any cleanses coming out in this game for,
nope.
Rammus taunt, Sandra ult, Aurelia stun, Jin root, Swain like pull. There's a lot of CC for Arc in this game. Unfortunately, no cleanse coming out. No one on the monkeys in training feels the need to take that summoner spell. But either way, we are into the loading screen now we get to see some runes and obviously confirm summoner spell choices here. I'm glad to see the ghost on the Hecarim. I think in the previous weeks we saw a flash on the Hecarim, didn't we? At some point?
Probably at some point.
At some point, something like that. You never really know. But interestingly enough, Jin taking the fleet footwork. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think if you're staring down the face of a Nico, you're pretty scared because Nico can definitely push the lane in and then simultaneously pressure you a lot. So if you're going the fleet, and then even if you don't have to opt into the boots for this game because you do lose a bit of lane pressure there. But if you still go the Doran's Blade, like this should keep you healthy enough to the point where you don't have to worry as much about the Nico poke. But the thing that really is catching my attention is that Phoenix goes the Ignite and the Dark Harvest.
Yeah, that should be pretty interesting to see. Phoenix is trying to get this lead early. Chinese Spy, one of these new name players who, put on a clinic last week against Feed the Dream. And in fact, that was the team that was going to pick him up, but decided instead to go for someone else. So Chinese Spy, I would say he has a chip on his shoulder playing for the whole rest of the season. Monkey's obviously happy to take him in, happy to be one of these, big dog carry players for them. But Chinese Spy definitely has to be careful and not give up this early lead.
hmm Yeah, and I see some people talking about it in the chat, but like to reiterate on what we were saying earlier, like I've been talking a lot about the Lissandra and how she can ruin the team fights of MIT, but Jin's not having a that great of a time on his own. Like he's staring down a Hecarim Malphite Galio. Like he has to ordinarily well to actually live in these games, in these lanes. But we're into the game.
Now onto the Rift we go here. It's still a bit black. It's paused for a second, but we're gonna get there in a bit. We can go down these team rosters for you officially now. Crockpot in the top lane for Monkeys in training on the Malphite. Bird Nurse is going to be on the Hecarim in the jungle. Galio for Chinese Spy in the mid lane. And Killistare and Shadow Stealer running up the Nico and Pike in the bottom lane.
We see Captain Ryu on Lorelli in the top lane. 6-foot Max in the jungle on the Rammus. Phoenix in the mid lane on Alessandra. And Audie and Rednick on Jin and Swain in that bottom lane.
Yeah, now we get on to Rift. We see where these players are going to set up the early line of scrimmage. And I don't know if we mentioned this before, but I definitely want to see what Bird Nurse can do on this Hecarim. A lot of this team relies on getting this Hecarim fed, getting him activated in this game. And if Bird Nurse is able to get ahead in this early game, it seems really, really hard for Arc to do anything here.
Yeah, I mean, you do have the Lissandra as a type of heal, but other than that, there's not. I mean, I guess you have the Rammus to sit in the face, but there's not much to actually peel the Hecarim off of these other players.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, exactly. And that's really the scariest part, especially if you're a Jin. One of these champions is very immobile. But we will see if anyone can find any extra information off the rip here. We see that Pixel Brush reward coming out for Phoenix. And this is a good ward. It's a very underrated ward, in my opinion. A lot of people are opting to go for that Pixel Brush ward or get in a little farther and get this ward down onto the enemy blue buff. This way you have an idea of where they're starting a bit earlier, so you can kind of set up the plays at around 3.5 minutes in the respective lanes. But both of these junglers are going to start on their respective blue buffs, and see Bird Nurse making his way down into the bottom lane at some point soon, probably.
You know, we see, of course, Killistera and Shadow Stealer going for that very aggressive level 1. They got a decent chunk onto Rednick, so that takes off a little bit of the pressure, but I mean, this is already what we can see as Nico do that Q. I mean, it pops 3 times. It's going to do a lot of damage, especially if you're CC'd and slowed.
Yeah, Nico is a champion that can do a lot of damage if you're not ready for it. And once these abilities come through and these levels come through for this bottom lane for MIT, it's really scary if you're the Jin.
Captain Ryu taking an aggressive trade onto Crockpot. And Crockpot, that's a level 2 rally. You can't take that.
Yeah, but now to the bottom lane we go. We're going to see Hook coming on to Rednick. Ignite popping down. Heal is not going to be enough. And First Blood going to go over to the MIT bot lane.
Yeah, that's not what you want if you're Swain. You take the bad trade level 1 and then you immediately blow the flash and still end up dying. That's really huge for MIT.
Yeah, and a lane that was already supposed to be so scary for the Arc bottom lane. This MIT bot lane gets the early kill, gets the first blood, only really has to burn the ignite, and gets flash and heal out of the Arc bottom lane. And this is just a really, really big summoner advantage for Killistera and Shadow Stealer now.
You see, Crockpot once again taking these Aurelia autos, and you have the biscuits, so you can kind of afford to take it, but it's still not something you really want to do. We see Hecarim obviously full clearing. Rammus heading to that scuttle early and potentially could look for a gank in this middle lane as Chinese Spy is pushed up a bit. But we see also... Oh, sorry.
One thing I want to mention, yeah, is look at the bottom lane for MIT, rotating up to this crab, making sure they're able to secure it for their jungler. And this is something that's really, really impactful. Now we're going to see a gank in the mid lane. Dash going to come through onto Phoenix. Taunt is going to stop the E. The Claw not able to get Phoenix to safety, and that's going to be another kill for MIT. This one going on to Chinese Spy. And 6 Max trying to make something happen in the top lane, but the wave is just not the best for him. And Crockpot should be okay.
Ooh,
for
6
now,
Max.
at least.
6 Max stop his back, and I still don't think he gets anything here.
Oh, here we go. Flash forward. Gonna get the taunt onto Crockpot. Do they have enough damage? Crockpot gonna burn the flash to get away. And not enough damage coming out there for the Arc top half. And Crockpot will live, but he's very low.
That's jungle flash for top flash, and you do have Captain Ryu having that flash up on to Crockpot, so there's potential kill pressure there. Aurelia was already winning this lane, and now they're able to put a lot more pressure with that flash advantage. At least until Malphite's level 6 comes through.
And this is part of the thing that I was talking about earlier, is that this Malphite needs to be really careful in the early game. You do not want to let Aurelia's, you don't want to get caught off guard by the Aurelia's damage. Because once she gets that passive stacked up, there is so much damage coming through here. And Captain Ryu wants to play this lane super aggressive and try to get this lead for himself, because he's not going to outscale the Malphite.
And if we take a look at the MIT bot lane, instead of backing, they're staying in this lane. If I were Arc's bot lane, I'd definitely assume they would back right now, but you see I'm playing it slow. They know they have time. And then they just end up deciding they don't have time and give away the position.
Yeah, I ended up basically thinking that play was not really going to work out too well. The wave is not the best. It still is going to push into Arc. So, there's not really that many opportunities. Arc is not pushing the wave back, so it becomes kind of hard to make a play like that if you're the MIT bot lane. But things have died down a bit. We're just getting a little farming back and forth here. And obviously, the top lane CS is in favor of Crockpot so far, but that's going to be a big wave shoving in to Captain Ryu. It's going to be able to even up that CS number just a little bit. But now going into the bottom lane, we see Rednick going to land the grab, but we're in the top lane again because there's more fighting going on. And nothing happening in either of those lanes. No summoners being burned. Just kind of 6 showing his face down there and saying what's good.
It's kind of impactful. In the top lane, Captain Ryu is still level 5. And if 6 Max had not sitting in the top lane for so long, they would probably be 6 and be able to have killed the Malphite right there. Or at least force the ultimate.
Yeah, level 6 on Aurelia is very, very strong. You're able to get the Q resets. You're able to do a lot of damage very quickly. And the bot lane for MIT is just going to walk up, clear out some River Vision, gain control, and maybe look for a dragon in the near future here. Now we're going to see Chinese Spy going in, aggressing onto Phoenix. A lot of damage coming through, but 6 is here. Shadow is also here, and the 2v2 will not be taken by Arc because the major health disadvantage on their mid laner.
Already, I want to point out my most impactful player of this game is by far and away Shadow Stealer. They've been making the play. They've roamed to mid twice already. They were the enabler of that kill in the bottom lane. They just been everywhere they need to be and more.
Shadow Stealer putting in work on with the early roams here on support, and Phoenix has to be really careful with no TP. It's kind of hard to back and get in a position to contest this dragon. The MIT is already going to start it up and secure that one at about 7.5 minutes into this game. And with the early Mountain Dragon, it's going to add some bulkiness to this squad, who's already pretty bulky.
Yeah, this squad's bulky. They had that Mountain Drake, so they're just going to be getting a lot more free resistances. We do see the Infernal coming up next, so it's either going to be the Ocean or Cloud Soul. And I feel if you are Arc, you're hoping it's the Ocean Soul, because you do not want the Malphite, Galio, Hecarim, Nico to be having their ult just that much more.
100%, I agree. Ocean Soul, Cloud Soul would be really, really scary if you were Arc, especially because they're, they're at an early disadvantage, and the kill's already there for Monkeys. But Captain Ryu taking a very, very scary trade, and with the Malphite ulti available, that's really not where you want to be. Gonna have to burn the flash. Kind of just a little bit of a blunder there in the top lane.
Yeah, now that there's that flash advantage gone, because Crockpot's coming right back up, and it looks like
Both of the ultis are gonna be used. Yeah, it's just gonna be a free kill coming out for Bird Nurse there. Good job by MIT to recognize that the flash cooldown had been burned. Just go straight up and just take advantage of the summoner spell discrepancy, burning both ultimates. Free kill, honestly.
Yeah, I feel there are just a lot of uncharacteristic individual mistakes coming out from the side of Arc. I really hope they can step it up, both for the rest of this game and the rest of the series as a whole.
Yeah, but now Killstera might be in trouble here. Gonna have to burn the flash to get away, as that Jhin root put that Nico in a very precarious situation. And look at this. Look at the top lane right now.
Repeat dive.
Burgers is already there trying to repeat this dive. Now, no ultimates are available for either of them, but Captain Ryu has to be careful here. I hear Ghost was burned. And here he goes. The charge is going to come through. Heroic entrance over the top. Going to bring Chinese Spy under the tower here. Going to whiff the taunt, but it doesn't even matter. Going to burn the dash into the tower. Going to have to flash to get away as 6 Max is here. The soccer ball is rolling in. Not going to find anything for the Rammus in return. But that was a pretty scary play, actually, for Chinese Spy.
Yeah, but this should be... I dare I say it, but this should be the end of the lane, essentially, for Captain Ryu. Because they just had this whole wave shoved in on them. They're already a level down on the Malphite. The Malphite has so much XP. The Malphite is up just about 400 gold, so that's not the biggest deal, but they already have the Bramble Vest, so it's going to be so much harder to fight that Malphite in already what is a counter matchup.
Yeah, Crockpot should be able, to just keep stacking up armor, and basically just staring Captain Ryu in the face and saying, like, what's up? Hit me, I dare you. See what happens. You're hurting yourself. It's like, why are you hitting yourself type beat with the Malphite with Bramble Vest. So it's definitely a rough spot for top lane. Yeah, it's definitely a rough spot for this Arc top lane so far.
Yeah, I mean, what we've seen so far, the tail of this game is just, ooh, wow.
Nice hook. Gonna burn the flash out from Adi, but Shadow Stealer getting pulled back by the Swain. Gonna have to burn flash for himself as the Pike. And with this big wave pushing in, the Dragon spawning in 1:40, we do expect some sort of action in the near future, especially in this bottom side. We're gonna need a pause.
Oh no, I forgot about these.
Wow, and okay, we're already just immediate ready for unpause coming out.
I didn't
From
have
Captain
that.
Ryu, but if you guys do not remember, or you were not here for last week, sorry, not last week, last split, in pretty much every IBS game that we casted, there was a pause. And for these first, 2 weeks of the split, we had broken that curse, or at least it felt like it. But now we are back to a pause for just a little bit longer. We're getting ready checks in the chat, so it shouldn't be too much longer. We'll be back in here in just about a second.
And now we're back in. Aggressive plays coming out from Shadow Stealer and Kilestra. Maybe not where you want to be, but Galio is nearby, does not have the ult, but should be able to respond before Phoenix could, so you still get a little bit of pressure. You get that deep vision, even though it is now control worded out. It was a good idea, though. Good attempt.
Yeah, definitely a good idea, especially with this dragon coming up soon. You want to sort of set up this river pressure and river vision. Why am I on? Okay.
Struggling?
My game just went to half speed for some reason. I was like, okay, true. We're moving in real slow motion. That's how the pros see it.
You have more time to think through your plays, but we see 6 Max throwing in a little gank in the bot side, and then they decide they don't want to play.
Uh-oh. Redneck opting for the AFK strategy as, sometimes the game is not the most important thing in your life, and that's fair. It happens. It happens. We're all with you there. But round 2 for the pauses here. And is there anything you want to talk about while this is going on?
I mean, I'm just on an individual level. This is a very good game from MIT. Like
I agree.
they're performing in their lanes very well, and then Shadow Stealers making the moves on the map. They're going to other lanes. They're getting those advantages. And the only thing we're seeing, I mean, I wouldn't be too opposed to seeing the Pyke roam up to the top lane and just put this Aurelia even further behind. But so far, they've done good job. They've done a good job making their way around the map, putting pressure on all these lanes. And right now, every single person has participated in a kill. 4 people on MIT R101. So it's already a good look.
Already a good look here. And everyone has an assist. Like you said, kill participation for every one of these MIT members. And that is very, very good. Especially to see this team play like this. But we're
Ooh,
still in the pause. We don't have a
I didn't
pause
see the
timer
goal
anymore.
bleed. Yeah, I noticed that we don't have the pause timer. Little bit interesting, but MIT's up 3.5k gold. Or wait, I did my math wrong. No, I did.
No, that's
It's
right.
right.
That's
Never mind.
right.
Okay, 3.5k
Big
gold.
math guy.
Yeah,
Big math
big math guy. Well, that's a lot for this point in the game. It's only 11 minutes into the game. There's still a lot more time to go. There's still a lot of standing gold on the map. We can see. I'd like to see. I mean, there are 45 seconds to Dragon, so I believe that MIT's gonna be going for the Dragon. And then I think they should definitely pressure this Rift Herald and try to get it, but it looks like they might be looking for a fight right here.
Might already look for the fight here. It's going to be a 3v3 in the bottom lane as Bird Nurse and Shadow. Actually, is that Shadow? No, that's not Shadow. That's Calistera. But either way, on the other side of the fight, Shadow Steel and Redneck going at it. You're going to burn the ultimate for Pyke to secure that kill. And that was just too easy for Shadow.
Yeah, I mean, Pyke's printing money. The money printer's going burr. They're getting extra money from that Pyke ult. And it's just advancing the lead even more. 1,000 extra gold up right now.
Yeah, and especially now that this Dragon is going to be spawning in just in a few short seconds with the numbers advantage, MIT should have no problem at all pushing this wave in and getting the Dragon. Second Dragon of the game for themselves here in Chinese Spy. Just relentless on the assault versus Phoenix. Phoenix taking pretty low. But the W is going to halt any further aggression from Chinese Spy. And plates in the top lane for Crockpot is really rough for Captain Ryu.
Yeah, I mean, if Bird Nurse opts to go for it, I mean, I guess they're just going to try to dive this Swain right here. Or maybe not, they play a little bit reserved, they're starting their backs now. But if Bird Nurse off this backs goes for the Rift Herald, all 3 turrets on the map for Arc only have 3 plates left up. So that should be an easy first turret with that Rift Herald. Hopefully you get it in, actually you won't be able to. So you won't be able to get the first turret with plates still up. You won't be able to get that Rift Herald, but you still should put pressure towards that Rift, or towards it to secure that first turret.
Yeah, Rift Herald is definitely probably going to be the next objective.
Probably.
Definitely probably going to be the next objective in this game here. But one thing I do want to mention, you talked about the tower plates. 0 tower plates for Arc across the board and 6 for MIT, so definitely a lot of gold coming for them here. And look at Shadow in this top side of the map already, causing havoc with these roams. Not going to land that Q. But Crockpot should know that this Lissandra is in the area and should, you know, be wise to any potential engage or ganks coming out from Arc. But now back into the bottom lane we go as they're just fighting back and forth. Look at this damage from Calistera. Gonna pop flash in, pop Blossom gonna take down Redneck, and now it's the 1v1 Calistera versus Audi, and nothing left yet. But 6 foot is on the way.
Nico does so much damage.
Nico bot lane, man. What is this? This is crazy.
They already have their Ludens compared to the Jin's pickaxe.
Oh
2
no.
longswords.
Audi, no flash. Gonna get X'd out. X marks the spot with the extra gold, baby. And now this bottom lane for MIT is rolling.
At this point, if you are MIT, you might just be looking at a perfect game coming up. I mean, it's 15 minutes in the game. They haven't lost a turret, dragon, or a kill. It's looking very clean performance for them.
This performance is absolutely amazing for MIT. Going to secure the first tower for themselves in the bottom lane. And Kilistera and Shadow feeling real good about themselves right now. Two extra cuts coming out from that Pike ultimate as of now, and the gold lead has extended to 7,000 now. Reddick maybe sticking his head in a place where it shouldn't be. The hook's gonna land, but nothing really
Oh
to
my
follow it up
gosh. I have
at all. And
such bad hiccups. I'm sorry if you guys can hear that.
he's nervous. You guys make him nervous. He's still new to this, you know. He still gets nervous every single time, but that means he cares, so it's all right.
So many of your lovely faces in the chat. And we see a little bit of aggression coming out from Ark.
Yeah, Rednick gonna go and get stunned up now. Heroic entrance, and Hector Multi's gonna come through. Curtains are being called, but this is just an absolute domination of a fight for MIT. Rammus has to run for the hills. Shiny Spy not gonna find the taunt onto anyone. Going onto the tower even. He does not care at all. And that's a 2-4-0 in favor of MIT. This mid tower should likely fall away. And that whole fight was without Kilistera.
Yeah, if that's a fight without Kilistera, and you have Crockpot completely whiffing the ult, don't know if you guys saw that, but these fights are very dangerous for the side of Ark, and I mean, you don't need perfect play if you're MIT. Like, you're at the point in the game where even if you're messing up in these fights, you're still gonna be stomping, and that's all they need to try for.
Yeah, able to just absolutely destroy that fight. Nothing that Ark could do there. And is there anything that Ark can do to try to come back in this game? Obviously, Herald's going to be going down. But yeah, what do you think?
I mean, the best case scenario... the best case scenario for Ark at this point is to steal away a dragon. It gives them 5 more seconds. It gives them 5 more minutes in the game, and that's the most you can ask for it right now. Just give yourself a bit more time and just try to take one dragon. Give yourself 5 more minutes in the game, deny their soul a little bit, and that's all you can really ask for. You can't ask for winning a team fight, because that will need near perfect execution. So you just take little victories. You just take a little bit of time.
Yeah, and I did not mention this before, but the Cloud wins Quicken on the Rift here. We're going to get a Cloud Soul, and with this Dragon coming up in 10 seconds, got the mid lane pushed in for Phoenix and Ark. Chinese Spy going to have to deal with this last cannon wave, but the teleport advantage is still there for MIT. 2 teleports to 1. Obviously, Captain Ryu, the only person on Ark with a teleport. And we see these members moving down towards this bottom side river here, and MIT is here first. Look at where Audi is. Audi is still in mid lane, and the Dragon will be started up by MIT, or will they be able to burn? I don't think that Ark can contest this at all, but we'll see if they opt to do it here. 3K on the Dragon. Shadow's gonna look for some picks here, but now here we go. 6 foot rolling it in, gonna find Shadow on the thing, but 2-man stunt coming from Chinese Spy. Now pop offs being popped, curtains are being called, feared for 6 foot, and this looks pretty good now. Unstoppable Force gonna knock up onto one. Heroic entrance, not gonna knock up anyone. Just kidding, it's gonna knock up Audi because he walked right into it, and a triple kill so far for Birdners, looking for the 4th, chasing down Phoenix. Phoenix gonna burn the Ignite, try to get it now. Ultimate is popped, and Shadow Stealer gonna pick up the ace for MIT. That's a 5-for-0 ace, and the Dragon going over to them here. Likely the mid tower next, and oh my, that is just an absolute victory.
They would call the
MIT.
Baron right here, but it's not even 20 minutes. You can't even get for the Baron. You're smashing this hard so early already.
Already smashing the Rift Herald's gonna be popped. The mid inner will go down, and they're going on to this mid lane inhibitor tower next. Don't want to overextend here and throw away the perfect game, but at 19 minutes, knocking on the doors of the base already. Kilistera could be in trouble here, but a nice 2-man taunt from Chinese Spy. Captain Ryu is still going in, gonna get the shutdown on to the Nico. Now Chinese Spy gonna burn the Proto Belt to try to get away, but Rammus is rolling in, gonna hit the Wolves. Unfortunately, now the hook comes over. 6 foot max, met with 3 members of MIT over the wall. And a nice counter kill disengage coming out from MIT, but the perfect game dream is no longer.
Yeah, it's very upsetting, but I mean, what I do take from that one is that was a nice pike hook to get the Rammus over the wall. And we might be getting a little bit more. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we are still going in, and the X's are being dropped once again. Shadow gonna pick up the 4th kill of the game for this pike. Now with the Duskblade and the Mobies completed, and I mean, The curtains are being called, but not for who you think, honestly. Not for the Jhin, that's for sure. Onto the inhib they go here. 6-foot's gonna go in. Maybe this is the play. Oh, Phoenix not gonna take the claw in and just gonna burn ultimate in place. That's what we call a sombrero if you're playing Orianna. But either way, mid lane inhib not yet falling for Arc. And if you look at the scoreboard for MIT, I guess one bright side for Arc is there's a lot of shutdown gold. Yeah, right there. All right, he's gone. It's okay. It's only me
I'm
now.
here. I'm fine.
Oh,
I had
here.
my mic flipped. But you do have the standing gold of 5 turrets. And you have all those bounties, so you do have avenues to get back into this game. And if you're looking at MIT, this isn't the fastest Baron. I mean, you have a Nico, you don't have an ADC. So you're doing what you can. But it looks like, even with that being said, Arc isn't even looking.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't think that there's any way that Arc can contest this. I mean, maybe they see it now. Yeah, it looks like they're coming over. Teleport's gonna come in from Captain Ryu, and it is warded out. Let's see if Phoenix decides to take the claw this time. No, not yet. But Rednick is on the way. Claw's gonna land onto 2. Pulled back to his crossbite. Now the curtains are being called. That's a pretty fat ultimate from Aurelia, but Onslaught of Shadows into the backline. Here we go. Chinese Spy not gonna find the knockups onto anyone. And oh no, this is the throw from MIT here. On the other side of the fight, Shadow's gonna be able to take 1 back for the Monkeys, but a triple kill for Captain Ryu is a bit of a throw coming out from MIT with this Baron here. Now Shadow Steel gonna get knocked up, gonna find a 2-man stun, trying to get out. The X's are not enough damage, and another shutdown for Captain Ryu. Oh no, the Monkeys with a Baron throw. It's a Dignitas. It is a Dignitas indeed, but I don't know if you're talking, but your mic is muted. Either way, I'm gonna be able to secure this first tower.
We were talking about needing Aurelia to get fed. And I mean, she just got a Quadrica, so if we could take a peek at the gold. Yeah, now Aurelia is sitting on 4,000 gold. She is well ahead of that Malphite. She has almost 2,000 more gold. Jeez. Oh my gosh, she has 4,000 more gold than anyone else on her team.
A big influx of gold for Aurelia. We'll see what purchase comes through here.
She has the most gold in the game, actually. Whoa. She is very fed now.
Now with the Aurelia finishing Triforce, got the Bork finished as well, able to buy a Kindle Gem and some cooldown boots. And this is a very scary Aurelia now. The gold lead was 12,000. Now it's 4,000. But
Nope,
Aurelia might be getting caught here.
Close.
What did I say? Did I say 4? I meant 7. I meant 7. I can do math, I promise.
But I mean,
MIT needs to get a pick on this Aurelia if they want to win. At least not let Aurelia get the cooldown, the resets on Q. Oh, here we go. Gonna find the fight here. A lot running in. Hecarim is going. Knockup's gonna be Pop Blossom onto 2. That's gonna be a destruction. But now, what can Captain Ryu do in the fight? Gonna burn the flash to try to get away. And Rednick is running for the hills as well. This could be an int though. They're chasing a bit far, and Captain Ryu is gonna take down Bird Nurse as well as Crockpot, and they overchase just a bit too far. And Captain Ryu able to get 2 kills back for Arc. And with that being said, no junglers on the table. It's a 3v2 coming for this Dragon. Chinese Spy and Killistera. What can they do? Captain Ryu is very strong, and the health bars are relatively low for both of these sides. Audi with the highest HP bar so far, and the Dragon looks like it might be just conceded. Gonna look for a steal for MIT, but Arc Quake is gonna be able to secure it and delay that soul for just 5 more minutes.
and I was talking about, this is what Arc needed.
Yeah, it is. I mean, 6 kill influx on your Aurelia, and all of them had shutdowns. Okay, not all of them. 4 of them had shutdowns.
But I mean,
Like,
even
that's insane.
even with even looking past that, they got a Dragon. They bought themselves 5 more minutes in this game. That's really all you can ask for.
Yeah, they did. 6K gold, 6.5K gold deficit still. Shadow walking into a position that you should not be, as 6-foot Max and Phoenix are gonna burn both ultimates to take down this Pike, but MIT gotta clean it up a little bit and try to secure this game.
Yeah, they're definitely playing a little bit. Killistera does not end up getting the red. 6-foot Max smites it away, but MIT needs to play careful. They were at a point where they could just throw away these fights, but with that Baron throw, they gave too much gold away to be able to do that anymore.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a lot more calculated attack for MIT here in a game that, in a position that seemed all but done. They're knocking on the inhibitors at 19 minutes into this game. They went for an ambitious Baron call. All their health was were really low and were able to, Captain Ryu got in there, wiped the boys. And I still obviously think that MIT is in an advantageous position. You just need to team fight well. You need to get your, ultimate combinations together and make sure that, you're not messing them up like they have been. But they're just going to start onto the Baron right now. They have the full control of this River Vision. And look, 6-foot Max is on the bottom side of the map.
He's ramming, so roll over pretty quick, but this is going down faster than you'd expect. They don't have to TP from Captain Ryu, but it looks like Swing's about to go in.
Curtain Call is being ripped over the top here. Good job by Chinese Spy to block it out. And the Baron will be secured by MIT. Now, what can Arc find on the backside of it? I don't think anything, as the Baron recalls will be channeled.
Hey, they got the
all of
control
MIT
word.
is able to get out.
They got a control word out of that all. So
Worth, honestly.
I guess so. But now MIT has Baron for 2.5 more minutes. That will be enough time to let them set up for this dragon, and the dragon will spawn. So hopefully we can see them shove all these waves in and then get so much pressure that Arc can't even try to contest.
It's still an open inhib in the mid lane, and this is, something that could easily be threatened by the likes of this MIT roster. And with these waves being pushed in, obviously they're just sacking the top wave. You can see no one is even over there. I definitely would have imagined, one of these solo laners heading up to that top side, trying to collect that CS as well as draw some pressure. I mean, you have a TP, you have 2 TPs. So you might as well get over there and try to split the map. But with the Baron buff, these purple minions are just going to be running down the middle lane, trying to see if they can find anything. A potential broken inhib would be the pressure that they need to secure this dragon. But I imagine that regardless, Arc is going to try to go for it.
Yeah,
they
Arc
do not
definitely
want these guys getting that Cloud Soul.
Yeah, Arc definitely needs to try to do something here to prevent them from setting up. You still have 80 seconds until the dragon. You need to try to buy yourself some time, do something so you don't have to bleed out more and just completely forfeit the soul.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to mention, I forgot to mention until now, is that all of the members on MIT, besides this Nico, are melees. Now we're going to see this inhib going to go down. Maybe a fight ensuing afterwards. Kilosera clone is going to go through, and now the curtains are being called. Let's see what happens here. Hook going to land onto Phoenix, but nothing yet. Now the claws coming out from Rednick, finding Crockett, but that's not really the member you want. Unstoppable Force going to take him down now. Onslaught of Shadows into the backlines, and 2 are dead already. Heroic Entrance going to knock up Audi. Audi's flashing away, trying to burn. What can they do now? Captain Ryu has the ultimate on a lot of people. He's getting the Q resets. Another big stun, but now Pop Blossom going to be burned. Not going to be landed on anyone, and a full 5-for-0 ace for MIT should secure the game. They don't even need the Cloud Soul. They're just going to push it down mid with these waves. First Nexus Tower will fall, the second one shortly after. And MIT will take game 1 again after another freeze.
They really just don't like us ending our games.
Yeah, this is like the second time that this has happened where the game just freezes. Right when the end is about to happen.
I mean, looking at this game, we had very clean early game from MIT. They just completely demolished across the entire map. That they stumbled a little bit in the mid game. Captain Ryu was able to pick up that 4 kills, but at the end of the day, it was just not enough. It was not enough to stop the bleeding, or how much they had already bled out.
Not enough to stop the bleeding, indeed. And aside from that one Baron, throw from MIT, this is a super clean game coming out from them. I mean, they played really well.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, hopefully they can clean that up in the post game. We're going to take a break. We'll be back shortly for game 2. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to game two between Arc, Quake, and Monkeys in Training. We're in week three of the IBS division. We had Monkeys take game one in a commanding fashion, aside from one, maybe a skeptical Baron call coming out here, but we are back in the pro draft for game two. Arc gonna ban away the Pike first off, and MIT gonna respond with a Lux ban.
Yeah, I mean, this is still what we're expecting. We see that on flip sides, but we are seeing Arcs being very scared of that Pike because we saw how much pressure that Pike had early. Shadow Stealer, right? Am
Yep.
I crazy? Yeah. How much pressure Shadow Stealer had across the map on that Pike early. Then I assume we just see Monkeys in Training repeat the same mats that they had last game, so this should be an echo coming out here. Then we can take a look at what the first pick might be for Arc. Oh, never mind. They switch it up and ban away the Hecarim.
And Ben is definitely solid, especially if you are on red side. Arc Quake subbing in actually a new 80 carry. We got Max in for the 80 carry of Arc Quake, and this player has a lot of experience on this Kaisa. So we're gonna see a Kaisa first pick coming out for Arc Quake here, and I didn't mention this earlier, but it definitely makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, Kaisa, very strong first pick at all levels, really. And if they wanted to change the pace, this is what we need to see. This Kaisa can get in there, can do so much damage. MIT, though, is going to pick the Galio again. So they don't really want to change too much if they don't have to.
Yeah, the one key component is that they're not going to have this Hecarim pick, basically a Galio delivery system into the backlines. However, they are going to be able to pick the Zaya, which is supposed to be this counter pick into Kaisa at the current meta.
Is it? I
Yes,
I'm not
it
a
is.
fan of the Zaya.
I'm. I don't think it's that good either, but you can, you can stall out for a bit. We're gonna get a Rel pick for Arcquake to round out this bottom lane. So a lot of CC coming out from that champion, but not too much damage. So hopefully, Kaisa is able to dish out all the damage needed in that bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, that Rel is definitely very disruptive in these team fights. So if they're able to jump onto the Zaya, that should be very hard. And I mean, if you wanted things to get onto that Zaya, you have the Vi right there.
Yeah, Vi is gonna be the jungle pickup for Arcquake, and this is an odd pick for me because Zaya can just press R when Vi presses R. No.
Yeah, no, that is how that works.
Yeah,
And
so it's
I
a
mean,
bit. It seems like counterpick. It seems like they're counterpicking yourself,
I
but
feel like
I
there
think
are a lot of other picks that you could go for, but I guess neither of these jungles want to go for these traditional power picks, or instead we're going to see the Vi versus J4 matchup.
yeah, definitely a bit unorthodox, I would say. Um, from my knowledge, Vi is super strong right now. If you can get ahead, this champion is actually just unkillable if you can,
What does she
get a bit
go
of an
as her
early
mythic?
advantage. I think Sunder or Triforce, and you
That,
just smack them up,
yeah, that does sound pretty strong.
and then you go like Sterix and like Deadman's, and you just never die.
Interesting.
We're in the second rotation of bands coming out. It's going to be the Volley Bear for MIT. Arcquake going to respond with the Pantheon. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think that Pantheon is a champion that requires, bans at this point.
No, I still think that champion's very broken. Because I mean, if you're looking at monkeys, they don't have that many options to flex it, so it's not as scary. Because you know it would be going into that top lane. But it still does have that roam potential. And with Galio, Jarvan, Pantheon, you have the Jarvan ult, and then you have the Galio and Pantheon right on top of it, and that's not something you want for your team.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess. I just think the nerfs to Pantheon in the recent patch was just like so rough for him.
Yeah,
Arc is going to ban the Senna out, try to pinch the 80 carry pool for
even though
Killstera.
even though
Even though,
Killstera already has the
yeah,
Xayah,
wait, maybe a support pick they're thinking? Potentially?
potentially.
Potentially a
I
support pick?
But then we see monkeys away, obviously ban away 2 tanks away from the side of Captain Ryu. So take away a
Yeah,
little bit of comfort, take away something, put them onto something with a little bit more priority. But then we do see the Poppy locked in from MIT.
and with
Oh,
these 2 tank bands coming out, this leaves Phoenix to play the Vygar if they so choose, and, uh-oh,
there it is.
there it is, and Vygar. Phoenix is Vygar. You've heard the legends. All right. This player ran through week 1 on this champion. So we get to see a little bit of a rinse and repeat. In the top lane, it's going to be the Scion picked up for Captain Ryu. And likely that's going to be into this Poppy. We'll see what the last pick for MIT is going to be here. Likely a flex pick. It's going to be either mid or jungle. They can opt to send this Galio back into the mid lane if they would like to. I don't think the matchup is too good against Vigar, though. So
No, I don't think so. We do see the Annie then finally locked in,
you want to
which,
play too? It'll be fun.
yeah,
No?
yeah, that's what Annie says. That's what Annie says. But I mean, as a pick into this Veigar, I mean, with how squishy Veigar is and the lack of mobility, Annie definitely has the one-shot capability at level 6. So that's something Phoenix needs to be careful for.
Yeah, I mean, Annie is the queen of the mid lane. What else can I say? Um, very strong champion, a very straightforward champion as well. Point and click CCs on a mass scale. Just absolute potential for absolute dominance in the mid lane. But you have to remember who we got opposing in the lane. It's Vigar for Phoenix. So we'll see. I think this mid lane will definitely be a very fun matchup to watch.
I think, looking at these team comps holistically, I think MIT, their comp makes a little bit less sense this game. Like, if I'm trying to envision their team fight, I don't know exactly, like, how it's supposed to go.
I promise.
Yeah.
Because you
I mean, you
have...
have.
Or you can
Go
go.
ahead.
No.
No, you go.
Well, I was going to say, on the side of Art Quake, you have the Rel and the Vi and the Scion, who are all trying to get in there, and then you have that backline of Kaisa and Veigar, who can do the damage. But on the side of MIT, Poppy, I guess, can run in there. She can do things. Galio and Jarvan is obviously very strong. But the Xayah pick, it's a little bit too defensive, in my opinion, for this comp.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you there. I think there are definitely other picks that you could have gone for in the 80 carry pool. Don't really understand why you would pick this Xayah so early. Um, but that's just me. I think there's definitely like more prio picks you could have gone for. I mean, like literally, like any, like I don't know.
Anything.
I don't
Like,
think, yeah,
Samira,
literally anything.
if they play Samira.
Samira, yeah, I mean, but hey, maybe they know something that we don't. Um,
I mean, let's hope so.
so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see indeed. But we are into the client pick and ban. Of course, we're halfway through into the second rotation of the bans. We're just gonna see a lot more of the same. And I guess the team fight for MIT is going to consist of a flag and drag cataclysm, heroic entrance, um, getting as many knockups as you can. Crockpot getting in there, getting a pin onto that wall as well, and basically just being able to CC lock everyone, and just set them all up for Annie and Xayah damage coming through. That's what I would imagine, at least. But then again, we
I
do
mean,
get to see the new 80 carry for Arc.
hmm hopefully they can be a little bit more impactful this game, not get pushed around so early. And we do have Redneck on a more aggressive pick instead of the Swain they are on the Rel this time. So they should be
Yeah.
a little bit tankier, and they should be able to jump on this Xayah because, I mean, Xayah doesn't have any mobility, and until level 6, they're in a very dangerous position.
They are. They are definitely in a very dangerous position. Rel is a champion who's pretty easy to punish early, I would say.
I mean,
Does not much damage, but a lot of CC and pretty much all you have to do. Like Galio should just be able to like absolutely peel the whole time for Xayah, I would imagine.
I feel that the spot lane, once again, is going to be our most volatile lane. Mid lane, we can see a little bit more action than last game with the Veigar and the Annie. But top lane, once again, is pretty tanky. Not assuming we're going to see too much there. But I think something that we should put a lot of importance on this game is how much we're going to see out of both of these junglers. Because while both these bot lanes have options to go in, like I feel it's gonna be the difference maker to actually get a kill with a jungler there.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. The junglers are gonna be really important in this game. There's a lot of gank potential. Um, just in general, I mean, obviously you have a good amount of CC in the bottom lane. You have a good amount of CC from both of these mid laners. You have the box from Vigar. You have a stun from Annie. And even in the top lane, um, you have a relatively solid lockdown with this Poppy E and also Scion Q if you're able to charge it up. But yeah, I think there's a lot of early gank potential from these junglers, and I want to see who can, impart their will more onto the map. Last game, obviously, Bird Nurse um, was able to put in this work, on the Hecarim, and eventually end up taking over the game. And kind of what we said at the beginning of that game was, if the Hecarim gets ahead, you know, it becomes really, really hard for Arc to do anything.
Yeah, and I feel that something that I do want to see this game is it felt like last game was characterized by a lot of Art Quakes making individual mistakes. They brought in the new AD carry for this game, and I just want to see something new. I don't want to see anything of the old because we know that was not great. I mean, the only kills you got were off of the fumbled Baron play, and we need something more. We need them to actually be able to be aggressive, be proactive because we know that's what MIT has been doing.
Yeah, and on the side of MIT, clean early game, clean mid game, very questionable Baron call and throw, I would say. Definitely a play that could have actually lost them that game, especially with Captain Ryu getting so strong off of it. But you definitely need to see them clean up their closing out of games. I would say that play should have never happened and it could have cost them the game. So you definitely have to be more cognizant of what's going on there and make sure that you're making the right decisions when it comes to starting Baron or turning off of it or, whatever it may be in the late game.
I mean, yeah, because we talked about it. They didn't have that much Baron pressure. They had the Nico instead of an AD carry, so it took them a while to do. Now they're onto the Xayah, so they will have that consistent ADC damage dealer. But I mean, I want to see a better mid game from MIT and a better rest of the game for Arc.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And with 20 seconds left in the spectator delay, we're going to be getting into the loading screen here very shortly. Is there anything you want? I mean, obviously, we talked about the team fighting potential from MIT, but is there any specific way that you see this Arc Quake roster, playing out these team fights?
I mean, obviously with the Vi, Sion, Rel, and Kaisa, you're going to be trying to dive in. But I mean, onto who is a very important question because you have the Xayah, but she just hits the Blade Caller and then or the Featherstorm, my bad.
Yeah,
The Blade
Featherstorm.
yeah, she just hits the Blade Caller or fuck. She just hits the Featherstorm. And then there's nothing you can do. You can't get her on her anymore at that point. And then you have on the other side, you're just seeing even more diving in with again the Jarvan and the Galio. So there's a lot of diving in going from both sides. So it's whoever can actually effectively do that.
I agree. I agree. Obviously Zaya is able to be pretty safe, and especially if 6 foot is going to keep ulting Killistera a lot in these team fights. Like you have an automatic, basically get out of jail free card with the Featherstorm. So definitely going to be interesting to see how these teams play out these team fights. Any advantages early?
I mean, both of these junglers, as we were talking about, have the prio or have very active early ganking. I feel that it should be pretty easy for Killistera to get the push on in that bot lane with her feathers going through the wave. But that's still lane is still very volatile, of course. And I mean, yeah, as you're talking about, how do you dive Poppy and Xayah? You have the Vi ultimate so you don't get knocked down, that's unstoppable. And then you have the Scion just trying to run in and the Rel. But it's very difficult.
It's a very linear engage.
Yeah.
You have to just run straight at them. And Poppy, Jarvan, all these people, all these characters are just very good at like stopping you from running straight in. So it's like a solid draft, I'd say, from MIT. A bit of a odd one for Arc.
Yeah. And so it's definitely going to be impactful to see how they play out in the game. But then looking at the summoner spells now that we are in lobby, we see that once again Phoenix opted to not take the teleport. They have the ignite once again.
Hmm.
But otherwise things look fairly standard.
Yeah, fairly normal for sure. Are you supposed to take press the attack on Zaya? Seems okay, right? Seems
I mean, I
not
guess it
too
would
an
either be
issue.
that fleet or lethal. But I mean, if you're
Yeah, I
looking
think I
at
was running lethal
yeah,
when I was playing it.
I've been seeing, or at least one of my ADC friends, he's been running PTN a lot. Because I mean, at a point, what are you more than just another support? Like if you're not able to do damage, then at least just proc PTA so the rest of your team can. But we are in the game now, and on the side of MIC, we have Crockpot in the top lane on Poppy, Bird Nurse jungle as Jarvan, Chinese Spy in mid lane on Annie, and Killistera and Shadow Stealer on Zaya and Galio.
And for the side of our Quake, we got Captain Ryu in the top lane on the Scion, 6 foot Max on Vi in the jungle, Phoenix on the patented Vigar in the mid lane, and Max and Red Nick rounding out the bottom side with Kaisa and Rel here. And we're still, more of the same 5 point defense coming out for this early level 1, and just trying to see who can find any sort of information on these junglers. We see Bird Nurse and Shadow Stealer maybe looking for a ward, and that right there is a great ward. I was talking about that earlier. In game 1, this ward that's just a bit in front of the pixel brush. It's deeper in. You can see Captain Ryu doing the same exact thing. Mirrored wards on both sides here. This ward gives you so much vision and so much information when it comes to tracking the junglers early. And I think this ward is very, very underrated, especially in this division.
I mean, if we take a look at Arc, every single one of their players placed down their ward level 1. So they're trying to get as much information on as they can on this Jarvan. But then after 2 minutes, like, you need to be careful of that 3-minute gank coming out from Jarvan, because no one will have a ward.
Yeah. And if Jarvan just goes to full clear, like, those wards are going to be gone, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't even really get any information out of it. And you can see Jarvan, opting for this blue buff into Gromp, likely to Wolves after that. And Vi starting on the top side of the map, likely doing, a similar thing here in the top lane. We're just fighting back and forth. Captain Ryu taking pretty low. Gonna have to burn those corrupting pot stacks. And for the time being, though, look at this potential fight in the bottom lane here. Redneck gonna jump in. Void Seeker gonna go wide left, but now the Ignite's dropping on a Shadow Steel. Gonna have to burn the flash and heal to get out. But a lot of damage there from this Arc Quake bottom lane. And in the meanwhile, mid lane, Birdner's already trying to get a gank off.
Yeah, Birdner's got the gank off. Wasn't able to pull out any sums from Phoenix, but we're seeing a lot of aggression already from both of these teams, and we're seeing a little bit of the flip of aggression. We're seeing Maximus and Rednick getting in that bottom lane early instead of being pushed around. Unluckily, Maximus did end up missing the W, or else that could have been a kill.
Yeah, it definitely could have been. The extra stacks of plasma that Void Seeker, provides onto a single target is actually a lot of damage in the early game. And definitely could have been the kill there onto Shadow. But I want to highlight that play from Bird Nurse, that knowing that the topside Raptors were rewarded, opted to just go down into the enemy Raptors and flag and drag over the wall to get an unsuspecting, a gank off an unsuspecting Phoenix. Super, super crazy pathing, and just adaptive pathing from this jungler.
It is unlucky that they weren't actually able to burn sums off of Phoenix, though, because at that point you're just losing tempo. You guys are both of the junglers are on Scuttle Crabs at the same time, but you are down a camp on that Vi.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a good idea, though. Regardless, like, it feels bad, but, like, that's a great play to make. Definitely.
We're seeing Crockpot still getting the better end of these trades up in the top lane.
Still
Good backstop.
Crockpot is making Captain Ryu's life really, really hard here. And you can see that now Bird Nurse is actually looking for an invade, but it is on a ward. So Phoenix walking over, going to get collapsed on by these solo laners. Probably just going to be able to get out, flag and drag, no problems at all here. But we'll see if anything ends up coming to fruition off of that. With the dragon going to be spawning in 30 seconds. We might see if 6foot decides to go for one of those early solos, which, you know, something that you can do on this champion in the Vi. Definitely able to take these early dragons and try to gain this tempo for your bottom lane.
And I mean, but if you are looking at it, burners could easily walk over with the help of their bot lane and get that dragon for them, but I'm assuming it's going to be a while till we see that taken, considering last game.
Yeah, the first dragon was, I think it was around like 7.5 minutes or something like that was when they opted to take it, but more fighting in the top lane. One thing I noticed, Crockford is not really going for his shields when he goes for these trades.
No,
He's
it
kind of
is.
eating it.
Yeah, it's interesting. They're already winning on these trades, or they were at least. They were winning on these trades, but that could definitely be made a lot more beneficial if they just picked up those shields. Luckily, when you kill a minion with it, you get it immediately.
Yes, indeed. And
Ooh.
6foot is spotted out on the top side by these wards. Look at these wards by MIT in the enemy jungle. Just absolutely crazy vision and information coming out from them. They know 6foot is on this top side. And you can see Chinese Spy hovering on the bottom side of the lane. If you just look at the minimap, you can see it there. Hovering on the bottom side of the lane, knowing that Vi can only come from that top side because she was just spotted up there. But now Crockpot has to be careful.
It looks like Crockpot felt it, and so they back off to safety. But I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
What do you build on Xayah?
Probably not Serrated Dirk.
Yeah.
I would imagine you just go Kraken, right? Or I mean, Gale Force, I guess. But like, Serrated Dirk seems interesting. Maybe opting for the Collector first? I don't really know.
You're not, if you're playing Xayah, you're not Kaisa, so you don't need that AD for the evolve. So it's just really interesting to me that they opt for that.
Pretty interesting.
That's the way to put it.
Then again, you know, I haven't studied the Xayah build, so maybe this is the actual, you know, one that you're supposed to be rocking.
Yeah, no,
but
it very well could be. Don't want to discount these players. I mean, if you're, they have the positive back on the Kaisa, so you will be doing more damage. For the time being, at least.
I'm looking. I'm seeing what the build is. What the op.gg, what op.gg says the build is.
Probably not that would be my guess. But we are looking back. Things are going pretty steadily. It looks like Burners is going to start up the dragon. But the bot lane is getting shoved in, so it's... Oh, never mind. They were just clearing out a ward. But 6foot was poking their head around mid lane. Nothing happened. Just farming, but they could be heading up top lane. We'll walk over a control ward. So they will be spotted out. But that's the ultimate coming.
Oh, Poppy ultimate is going to be burned here. Nice job of throwing up that wall to stop any potential Vi engage. And Crockpot actually could look for a 2v1 here. There's a lot of damage coming out, and the TP is available for Chinese Spy if they want to go for it. But look at the Crockpot damage.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of damage.
The Poppy Q just doing so much percent health damage. It just feels really, really strong. And Poppy now, we're seeing the power of this play, but into the bottom lane we go. Flag and Dragon to knock up onto Max. Flash forward taunt will land from Shadow, and a lot of damage coming out. Feather Storm, Blade Color will root one, but it's not enough damage. Teleport coming in from Captain Ryan now. He is full health. The TP from Chinese Spy to follow shortly after, and he's going in. He has the stun available. Where's Tibbers? I'm not sure that I can find him yet. And I think he's still lost for the time being, but now with 4 members strong in the bottom lane, MIT definitely in position to go for this jungler, especially now that Vi is spotted on the top side. Crockpot and 6foot match gonna go added here, and a lot of damage being returned. Assault and Battery is not enough yet to flash away from Crockpot. Gonna burn it. Oh, this Q is in the wrong direction, but it doesn't even matter. First blood going over to Crockpot now on the bottom side of the fight ensuing. Magnet Storm from Redneck gonna secure a lot of pelt with the flash forward. Scion bringing the axe down, gonna secure one back for themselves. And Arc Quake a win out on the fight on the bottom side and able to secure this dragon just after 10 minutes.
Flash over the wall. Otherwise, I think that could have been just the full wipe with the cage being dropped down.
Yeah, wow. That was very, very scary. A lot of flashes burned from that from the side of MIT on the bottom half of that map, and a crazy fight. And the only flash up on the board for any of these teams is Red Nick now.
Yeah, Rennick having the only flash, and I mean, it's still an aim gauge that can happen. Rel doesn't have the R for a little bit, but with the flash W, that's a lot of distance you can make, and then you still have the E to stun also.
Yeah, definitely a big play coming out from Arc Quake on the bottom side of the map, and another big play coming out for Crockpot on the top side, able to find the solo kill into 6 foot with the health very not even close to being equal there. And didn't even get the stop on the Vi ultimate either.
Yeah, it was very close. A little bit of trading in the mid lane. A lot of damage coming out from Phoenix, but Tiny Spy still staying healthy. They have the item advantage. So Phoenix still needs to be careful once that Tibbers comes off cooldown.
Yeah, Tibbers is about a quarter of the way till being back available. But for the time being, though, everything should just be going back to normal. The calm before the storm, as we say. And both of these top laners now with kills for themselves on the board, and about a 1k gold lead in favor of MIT here. But now 6 foot Max is going to jump over the wall. Blast Cone. Rel is there as well. Magnet Storm, Killer Instinct, and that is 3 people on to this Galio, and Shadow will go down. That's going to be the 2nd kill of the game for Arcquake, and giving that over to Kaisa is going to feel really good.
That was a lot of resources thrown down for that Galio kill, though.
Yeah, I don't really... I mean, it's definitely a lot. Definitely a lot. I can respect it, but, you know.
Chinese Spy sidestepping with damage coming out from Veigar, getting a good trade in, and it looks like Bird Nurse is taking that Rift Herald. So we might actually see a Rift Herald drop for plates this game.
Yeah, and a nice blade collar from Killistera there. Able to get the Rue, get some damage back onto Max, and definitely something you have to be careful of. Crockbot doing a nice job of getting out of that side Scion Q. For the time being, though, Tibbers in the mid lane. Phoenix taking pretty low. Tibbers gonna smack it down one more time, and Chinese Spy gonna get a solo kill for themselves on this Annie. Now Crockpot taking turret aggro, unstoppable from Scion. But what are you gonna do? You have no people in the area here. Now the Herald with that solo kill will be spawned mid for plates here. It's gonna get 2. Chinese Spy and Bird Nurse just smacking away at this mid tower, trying to open it up, but now 6 foot and Rednick are on the way, gonna be able to save the tower for the time being. And now at 12 minutes, almost 12.5 minutes here, this mid lane tier 1 is almost gone for Arcquake.
Yeah, this mid lane tier 1, we're seeing, once again, a very dominant performance from Chinese Spy. And that's not to say Phoenix isn't playing this lane well. It's just Chinese Spy has been the beneficiary of a lot of gold income. And I think they finished their Ludens on that back, so they're going to be even that much stronger.
The Ludens fully completed, and I want to highlight the plated steel caps rush from Bird Nurse on the Jarvan in the jungle. Definitely just trying to get a little bit of an advantage. I mean, you know, it's okay. You know, you're fighting the Vi most of the time. It's good for the Kaisa, I guess. I think it's okay.
I'm skeptical, but you know, more mobility gets them out onto the map faster, so they're able to try to affect more lanes. And even now, I still want to see more pressures from both of these junglers.
Yeah, Bird Nurse still has 0 kill participation, and that was definitely something that we wanted to see a lot of in the early game.
Both of the kills that their team has have been solo kills, but a good flash away from Phoenix to avoid the Tibbers. I don't even know if they know Crockpot is in the area.
Yeah, a very nice flash from Phoenix, just in time to get out of that Tibbers range, and with the plate strapping in about 10 seconds. Want to do a little bit of a plate check. Still 0 plates to Arcquake's name.
No.
Not able to get any of that gold here. A
Wrong.
lot more
Opposite.
plates. Wait, what?
Oh, 0 plates to MIT. No, oh wait, I'm so backwards.
No,
My bad. I'm
sides,
so backwards.
bro.
Yeah.
0 plates to Arcquake. MIT able to get, you know, all four in the mid lane. Hold on, I'm gonna stop here because we might see a fight coming out. Red Nick gonna go in, looking for a Magnus Storm onto no one. Now installing battery onto Bird Nurse. Crockpot, a good job of stunning right away. Heroic entrance over the top here will not get the knock, but a Cataclysm on to 6 foot. 6 foot should go down here in the near future. There we go. China Spy gonna secure that one, but the box is pretty big. Now Maximus trying to get some damage, but he's gonna get stunned into the wall. Knock up onto 2. Captain, double kill for Chinese Spy, and this looks like a good wipe coming out from MIT. Chinese Spy taking down Phoenix on the backside. Gonna have to run for the hills, and that Q is gonna do it. Triple kill for Chinese Spy, and a ace coming out. 5 for 1 in favor of MIT. Gonna secure themselves the Ocean Dragon. That's gonna be the first of the game for them. And now it's a 3.5 kick gold lead.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, that fight was very messy, I'll admit, but it came out insanely for MIT that game, or that fight. Oh.
Yeah, super good play there for MIT. And now you have a 3-kill Poppy, a 4-kill Annie. Wow.
And a Duskblade Zaya.
And a Duskblade Zaya. Respect.
Yeah, that's the word for it. I mean, I'm just in the camp that if you're playing Zaya, you just need a lot of attack speed. And you love that crit modifier on your feathers. But, I mean, in these fights, if you're trying to jump onto the Zaya, and if Zaya gets a single kill, then she goes invisible for a bit, so it's a little bit harder, even if your ability is point and click like the Vial. If you're staring down an invisible Zaya, you can't point and click that.
You can't stare her down. You can't stare her down. She's gone. Nowhere to be found.
Exactly.
Yeah, interesting pickup. Definitely not what I was expecting, but you know what? I was not really expecting too much. The way though, Chinese Spy might be walking in here. Wow, walking into the bush, finding 2. A lady on a horse and a killer from the void. Gonna be taken down, and a shutdown going over to Max is gonna feel pretty good, especially on a champion like Kaisa, who is like pretty much gonna be the win condition for this game.
Yeah, no, that's a lot of gold. Zaya already 2 kills. Pretty even in farm, but is up a total of 600 gold now on Killistera.
Yeah, and one thing, talking about farm here, I want to mention, look at these solo lane differences in farm. 25 in favor of Chinese Spy in the mid lane, and, you know, about 20 in favor of Crockpot in the top lane. So a lot of bonus gold on these, you know, specific solo laners for MIT. They're feeling really good. Crockpot's up 1,000, Chinese Spy is up 1,600. So, yeah.
I was just a little bit appalled when you looked at the top lane and called it 20 CS difference, but you know, it's close. Still a lot of gold in the favor of Crockbot due to those kills.
Was it not 20? Dude, I swear I saw 20.
It was like 6.
Oh. I'm watching a different game than you guys, I guess.
Yeah, Ryan might be a little bit behind in more ways than one, but we are seeing the gold advantage. It's less than it was. It's only 1.5k about in the favor of MIT, but they still are in control. We see Maximus on this next back will be completing that Gale Force, I assume. Or it could be the Kraken Slayer. Either one of those, though, will be completing the mythic item either way. They have the Q evolve already, so they're doing a lot of damage, and I think that's where you need to put more resources if you're Arc. That's your win condition.
But look at this play, set it up in the bottom lane for MIT. Bird Nurse is there. They want to look for this dive. They know that there's no flash on the bottom lane for our Quake here, and we're going to see. I don't think he's spotted out yet, but the wave is now crashing. The top lane, meanwhile, we're just fighting it back and forth here. 2 tanks going at each other. But for the time being, Bird Nurse and Shadow are going to walk their way into the mid lane. And check out our Quake's jungle and mid duo. They're onto this Herald already.
I mean, is the Herald worth giving up your mid turret? That will be the question. And oh yeah, they did secure the Herald, but they did end up just giving up their mid turret for free.
I mean, it was only at 1. It was pretty low anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. But either way, first target going over now into the bottom lane goes Magnus Storm. Going to go in, jumping on to nice usage of the Feather Storm to try and get out. But Killistera not going to have enough damage here as the TP has come in from Croc, but we'll see what can do. Flash going to not lock up Max on that wall here, and now it's Red Nick on the cross-country journey. Where's he gonna go? Oh my goodness, the flash from Shadow. gonna find the stun not gonna land on the wall, but now Chinese Spy and the rest of the boys are here. Rednick with the fancy footwork jumping back over, but one more Q, maybe 2 more Qs from Annie will do it. And now Chinese Spy sitting 5-2 on this Annie, and the game just becomes super scary now if you're any squishy on the side of Quake.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about I was talking about how Maximus needs to be a carry, but really hard to carry a game as an ADC if you're staring down a fed Annie.
Okay, in the mid lane, we go as a box in a good job. Now the Cataclysm gonna burn onto Phoenix, locking him down in place, and Bird Nurse gonna be able to fight through that Ignite and secure the relative soul. Honestly, I mean, he did most of the Vigar HP bar there. Obviously, you know, he got the shield from
there was the Jarvan
Galio
ultimate
ulti.
throw down.
Yeah, hello, that's Bird Nurse.
Oh, you were calling Bird Nurse? I mean, Annie did most the half the health too. I'm not gonna give that to any one player. It was a good collapse from MIT to shut down that Veigar. MIT as a team.
Yeah, MIT making proactive plays.
They're clearing out the Alco Vision.
Alco Vision has been secured by Quake now, and with the 3rd dragon of the game spawning, we're gonna get a Mountain Soul on the Rift. So we're gonna get some added bulkiness with the Herald spawning bot lane. Should be able to take this bottom lane outer tower, but are the boys available for MIT for the fight ensuing at this dragon? Maximus,
oh my gosh.
Killer Instinct is used into the time. Just 5 members are there. Maximus, what are you doing? Maybe buying time for this dragon to go down here. We'll see as Arc is on it. I cannot see. Okay, 1k HP now. Chinese Spy, good usage in the box to try to stop it. What can see? Magnetstorm onto 3 members. Stun as well. Chinese Spy having to flash out for the hills, but a big 3-man taunt will stop Sixers from getting in. Now Sign ulti will be burned. Tibbers spawned. Assault and Battery on the Chinese Spy is going to go down. Now on the other side of the fight, though, Shadow Stealer is fighting 3. Rednick, Captain Ryu, and Phoenix smacking him down. Shadow will go down, and the dragon going over to Quake. But look at the top side. Crockpot not having the TP available is just going to be able to take that outer tower. So the gold lead's still 2.5k about for MIT. That dragon's not too big of a deal, I would say.
I mean, the dragon's not too big of a deal, but again, it's setting you 5 more minutes away from Soul Point. So if you are the side of MIT, you'd want that Soul Point, and I mean, it was looking decent for them, but then it was a good response coming out from Arc. I mean, to start that entire sequence off, you had a Maximus going way too far, and it looks like he just did that again, or they just did that again.
Might be doing it again here. Captain Ryu gonna flash over the wall to try to get there quicker, but yeah, Crockpot, there's no way that you can fight this Poppy if you're a Kai'Sa right now.
No, that Poppy is so insanely tanky, and it's very hard to deal with.
Indeed, and now we're about 22.5 minutes into the game here. Only 1 outer tower left for both of these squads, and they are on opposite sides of the map. There we go. Reddit gonna clear out some of this Baron Vision. For the time being, we have no real major objective to fight for. Maximus does need to be careful, though. He is, you know, this player has gotten caught out a few times going for, you know, plays that they probably shouldn't have.
Is it getting called out if you jump into the middle of their team? Is that what that's called?
Maybe. You know.
Different people, different definitions, but Maximus could be the potential recipient of this Galio Annie combo.
They're waiting. They're sitting in the bush. Here we go. Shadow Stealer running, but not finding anything. And for the time being, 4 members strong from MIT in this mid lane. Going to try to pressure this inner tower. Chinese Spy going to walk it up into the top lane. Try to find another kill onto Phoenix. And Chinese Spy, you know, against this you know, legendary Phoenix Vigar has been able to get through it with relative ease, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, the Annie matchup ended up panning out very well. They were able to win the lane, they were able to convert properly into other lanes, and they've just been very dominant this entire game. But
yeah, however,
again,
the gold lead's only 1k, yeah.
I mean, yeah, the gold lead's only 1k. But then again, I must ask you, if you had a serrated dirk and pickaxe in your pocket in your Isaiah, what's your next item? Are you getting the Yomuth? Are you getting the... Does Edge of Night still build out of that?
I have no idea. I literally have no idea. I mean, it must be lethality. Like, we're committing to lethality Zaya, aren't we?
I mean, Killisera. Oh yeah, it could be. It could well be the collector. Yeah, I mean, not what I'd build. Let's say.
This is what that was what I suggested first.
Yeah, and then they got the. Then they got
And then
the
Duskblade.
Duskblade.
But either way, it's collector. Okay. Well,
Okay, confirming. This LOL greed is a fortune teller, I guess.
already calling the shot. Already calling his shots here.
Longsword first, plus a ruby crystal.
Okay. Yeah. True. Oh,
Okay.
coach. All right. I see.
Coach, by the way.
I would stick to being called the fortune teller because that seems pretty cool. But now we're gonna get a fight ensuing. Assault and Battery is gonna take 6 foot really deep into the team, but a nice job blocking out from Killer Instinct. Heroic entrance over the top, gonna get 2 on the stun here. But now let's see what can they do. A lot of damage coming out from this Kaisa. Maximus is doing work here. Now Cataclysm gonna lock down for the time being. He will go down now. Phoenix is getting stunned up by Crockpot, and what is happening? The health bars are very, very low. It's a 4v4 so far, but now Redneck is jumping into the backline, getting a 2-man stun. Flash away from Killisera.
No damage left.
Chinese Spy able to destroy 6 foot, but on the other side, Crockpot will go down. It's still a 3v3. Actually, no, it's not. It's a 3v2 in favor of MIT here in Phoenix, having to run for the hills as there's a giant bear chasing you down. The dragon spawning in 12 seconds. I would imagine that MIT should be in an advantageous position to take this one down and even up the dragon count.
Yeah, Bird Nurse is still alive and they're heading out. I think they respawned. But they're back out onto the map well before 6 foot max is, so they will be able to secure this dragon. They will tie up the dragon score. And so neither team is in a particularly great position to get Soulless game. We might not even see it 10 minutes out. But there's a lot to see. I mean, in that last fight alone, we saw Maximus essentially free hitting for a while, but just barely not doing enough damage.
Yeah, it was really close. Now onto the dragon they go as the teleport's going to come in from Crockpot here. Maximus is in a tough position. Oh, the pushback is onto Captain Ryu instead of Maximus. A crucial little misclick there. Could have meant a kill for MIT, but nonetheless, the dragon will go down in favor of them, evening up the dragon score here.
I do like what Mike the Tiger's bringing up. There are 3 tanks on the side of Arc, and we're seeing lethality Zaya.
I mean, yeah.
You know, sure.
I don't
no,
think
I'll leave it at that.
Just leave it there. Leave it there.
I'll leave it
You guys
there.
can interpret that however you want.
But
Nonetheless, I respect the hustle.
and we see the dragon score even up. Little bit of a steady point in this game. Our MIT is still 2.5k up about. We see a Scion ult coming in the mid lane.
Here we go. Here, Birdner's gonna get the flag and drag away from the onslaught of anything. Here we go. 6 foot max is gonna queue in, seeing what you can find. Flash forward from the Scion. Now Assault and Battery onto Zaya. Killer Instinct is there as well. Kill Sarah, taken pretty low, but the Feather Storm will buy some time. Now Heroic Entrance, Rednick into the Cataclysm, Magnet Storm onto 2. We'll see what can go on. The Flash forward from Shadow Stealer is gonna get a taunt onto 1, but now on the other side of the fight, Rednick is down. A flash forward from the rest of the team, and this is gonna be a big Scion Q, a double kill for Chinese Spy, but Chinese Spy will fall. Now 6 foot max is in the middle of the team. Killistera is doing a lot of damage. That Feather Call or Blade Caller will secure 1 back, but now Captain Ryu is taking down. Oh, the push forward from Crockpot is not quite what you want to see, especially if you're an 80 carry. You do not want a Scion on your face. But either way, a 3 for 4 in favor of MIT, and that's another 1 fight for them.
I mean, these fights are so bloody with a lot of people dying on each side. Maximus decides not to back and is just staying out, catching up a little bit more farm. They are close to an item, so I guess they're just staying out for that, but you know, a lot of deadly fights, and in that fight, I don't know if you were watching, but Maximus nearly got solo killed just by Tibbers.
The bear is scary indeed, and this mid lane inner tower will go down. That gives MIT a 5-2 tower advantage. And almost a 3.5k gold lead now with this dragon to 2.5 minutes away still. Until the next major fight likely will happen. But the Baron is available, and we're going to see MIT sort of make their way into this topside river, clear some vision out, and try to set some up for themselves.
Yeah, we're gonna be setting up this vision. This should be where we see most of the attention put, at least for the next 2 minutes, because the dragon is spawning then. But either of these teams, they both have high damage 80 carries, so they should be able to take it with relative ease. They just need to find the correct window.
Yeah, finding the correct window is always the hardest part here. And now we do see a pickaxe cloak coming out from the Xayah. So maybe we're thinking IE next?
Is there a lethality crit item?
Is there a lethality crit item? I'm not sure. Anyone in the chat
hope
or
not.
production, give us your,
The
opinions on
lethality
that.
crit item would be collector.
Collector, but they already got it. So
Yeah, so hopefully not. That probably would be the IEs, my guess.
I mean, I would like to see a second collector.
You know? Oh yeah, you don't get the 60 crit, so it's not even the best item here. No, that builds out of longsword, so it's, I mean, we'll see what it is. We have time. They have some gold in the bank, 900 gold in the back pocket, but it looks like these teams are posturing around the dragon. That's up in a minute.
Yeah, a minute until the dragon here. We're gonna see now this vision start to be set down into this bottom side. As you can see, top river littered with wards from both of these teams. That the whole side of the map is just lit up completely. And we will see a fight doing at this dragon shortly. MIT getting the wave pushed in, trying to get this mid lane prio, forcing Quake to have to deal with that while they can get in and get some vision down. Set up maybe a potential pick before the dragon spawns in about 30 seconds. And Captain Ryu is running up into the top side here. He has the teleport available, so shouldn't be too bad. Should be able to get there in about 4 seconds if need be. But Chem Tank burned on the Galio, trying to find a pick onto Maximus. Not going to find anything yet. But this is some heavy posturing from MIT. I do want to mention, look at the Scion on the top side. Definitely a ultimate angle there from Scion.
Something else I want to point out.
Go ahead.
6 foot max is a level up on Burner, so if it does come down to that smite fight, 6 foot max wins out.
Yeah, 6 foot max will win out on the 50-50 as long as everything is normal. But Shadow Steel maybe stepping up a bit too far, gonna get caught up in the box here. But now Onslaught is in the back lines here. Good job biding time for the Xayah to do some damage here. Heroic entrance is pretty big onto the backside, but 6 foot max and Kyocera are fighting. Now on the other side of the fight, Captain Ryu is doing a lot, but double kill for 6 foot max will be secured. Gonna have to burn the flash out from Crockpot to get away from that box. And Phoenix with a killer box gonna catch out Shadow and turn the tides in favor of Quake. And Crockpot is looking, sniffing his head in. What can this Poppy find? Is there anything? That's the question. I don't think there will be any contest here, as the dragon should go down to the side of Quake, now sitting at a potential almost 38-minute Mountain Soul.
Yeah, I mean, this game is very close. It's within 2k gold for these teams, and these fights are fought on a razor thin margin. Because we see Kyocera very unfortunately just getting solo killed by the Vi, and I'd be screaming the whole time as an ADC, being like, "Help, guys, she's on me!" But she wasn't able to get any peel because the rest of her team was diving in. I mean, that's like this team. That's like what I was saying. You have these parts of this team that wants to be diving in, and you're just kind of leaving the Xayah behind. Even if you do get a good Featherstorm off, if the Vi saves R, I mean, you have nothing to save yourself then.
Yeah, I agree 100% now with Rednick getting stunned up, taunted. Little bit of damage there, but for the time being, MIT pressuring onto this Baron yet again. The teleport is available, and they're just going to start it. Oh, man, we saw this last game. Except the lead is only 1k now. Will they, being Quake, be able to walk up and sniff this out? I'm not too sure. as a Baron is about half HP now, 6 foot max, and the boys are walking through. This is a potential taunt opportunity. Redneck is into the backline. Magnetstorm is going to be big onto 3. Assault and Batter on the Chinese Spy will take pretty low, but the blue team will steal it. 6 foot max. Now, a fight ensuing afterwards. Cataclysm on the 2 members, but Killistera is going to have to burn the flash to get out. Crockpot, 1 HP, will get shut down by Maximus, and 6 foot is not done. Solo Baron for themselves, trying to find some more kills over the wall with this Q, but the Blast Cone is available for Bird Nurse to get to safety. A huge play from 6 foot max stealing that dragon. And again, MIT throws at the Baron.
I mean, like I was talking about, it wasn't impactful at the dragon fight, but 6 foot max, that 1 level lead has turned into a 3 level lead. Birders has not leveled up since then and was able to, it made it so 6 foot max was able to take away that dragon.
And with off of the back of that big play coming out from Quake, the mid lane inhib for MIT will go down. They're rotating onto this bottom side, try to pressure some more lanes as Captain Ryu is in the top lane, pushing it out. That tier 1 tower in the top side is still available. It should be taken down with relative ease in the next few seconds, as well as this bottom lane tier 2. And a pretty solid and big influx of gold for Quake, now sitting at a 4,000 gold lead. This is their first gold lead of the series.
Probably.
Likely.
Can't make any promises, but probably this is the first goal lead, and we do see Xayah finish the IE. That would be a pretty big finish, but she doesn't have 60% crit, so she doesn't even get that bonus. And then I'll take a look for you guys.
40% crit.
They are sitting at 239 stacks, so they have a total of 663 AP right now. That's a lot.
That is a whole lot, and you can see this Rabadon's death cap should be the next item completed for Phoenix on the Vygar, and oh boy,
this is a series.
Scary.
This is what we expected.
Yeah, these are the top 2 teams in their respective groups, both of them undefeated, and no team wants to go. Sorry, yeah, in the same group, both of them are 2-0, but there can only be one after today. So I mean, both of these teams have a lot to fight for and are definitely, you know, they want to be undefeated after today.
Yeah, there we go. Neither of these teams would be 2-0 after today, but we do want to see which team can be undefeated. And with the switch of the ADCs, we see Maximus stepping in and stepping up in this game. I mean, scoreline doesn't show up, but I'm sure the damage at the end of the game will.
Yeah,
right?
Maximus has been able to free hit in a lot of these team fights. And it's definitely something that you have to figure out and get attention to if you're MIT. And with this dragon spawning in about 35 seconds, this is a Mountain Soul dragon for Quake. MIT has to go and fight for this dragon. However, they've been losing the straight 5v5s.
Yeah, I mean, what you need to do differently is you need to find a way to peel for Killistera. Because 6 foot max right now is making their life really, really difficult.
Yeah, but do you even want to peel for lethality Xayah?
I mean, I guess. I mean, you need somebody to do damage because you have 3 tanks otherwise.
Yeah,
you have the Annie, but
looks like Arc is just already onto this dragon here, and MIT is still a long ways off in 4k HP, and now Asabalansa's coming in. Red team will be able to secure it. Bird Nurse with a giant steal, but now Cataclysm. Maximus is into the box and will be taken pretty low here, but a nice box coming out from Phoenix will buy some more time on the other side of the fight here. Killistera with a Blade Caller will not find any damage, and 6 foot and Captain Ryu are tearing it up. This looks like an absolute massacre for the side of Quake, and that's a 5-0 in favor of them. They give the dragon, but get the team. And this should be the end of the game. Quake, no inhib in the middle lane, onto the Nexus towers with the super minions. They will go. Quake takes game 2 in the next couple of seconds here as the second Nexus tower will fall onto the Nexus. They go. Get it to game 3. Get your silver scrapes out, boys, because we're going to game 3. Quake gonna take game 2.
I mean, this was a much cleaner game. And I don't want to blame Killistera because I don't believe it was their fault. But I feel like if you have percent pen, this game gets a lot easier for your team. If you're able to do damage, like then you'd actually be helpful. Then your team would actually be able to punch through these tanks. Because a lot of these fights, Zaya was relatively untouched. It was only the tanks diving in. If you can never break through that Sion and that Rel front line, there's no way you can deal damage to the Zion or to the Kai'Sa and Veigar.
Yeah, that is definitely a rough go there.
I do
As
want to point out to
it's
the
really
chat,
rough.
I made the correct decision and put my bet on Arcanist, and I won 10.2k channel points.
Oh my! I put what did I put? I put like I only won 618. I didn't really know how the predictions worked, but I did also put money onto our Quake in that fight. Either way though, we're going to game 3, and both of these games have been pretty entertaining here. But we are going to go take another short break. Go get some water, get a snack, do what you got to do, but be back in a few minutes. We go into game 3 between MIT and ARC. Don't go anywhere. ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Game 3 between Monkeys in Training and Arc Quake. We are already into the pick ban, and we got a Lux ban first coming out from Monkeys in Training.
Yeah, I mean, this is still what we expected, but hey, I'm excited to get our first best of 3 so early into the season and against what should be our hypest matchup of the season. Or, I mean, I guess so far.
And then these guys are both, the top two teams in their division. And this one, we promised a good one. We're getting a good one all the way to Game 3. I'm just double checking here. This is our first 3-game on stream. There has been a few 3-game sets prior off of stream, but I'll assume this is our first one. Is gonna round out the bands. Arcquake going with a Victor, Pike, Hecarim, and MIT going for the Lux, Sejuani, and Vi. What do you think a first pick is gonna be here?
I mean, it's MIT, so really I have no idea. Because the Hecarim is banned, that's what they first picked last time. They could choose a Galio here and hold it as a flex pick, or they could choose the ADC. Yeah, they just end up going with a Kai, so this is what Arc did last game. Arc did ban Kaisa in game 1, so now it's open, now it's first pickable. And I think it's still very solid, because it gives you a lot of room to work with. You just take away that power pick early, and, I mean, you don't show too much. But Arcquake looks like they're hovering the Tristana, and they do lock it
Hey,
in.
let's go, baby. I love me some Tristana. I think this champion is super underrated right now. Actually, the damage you can do in the burst and the scaling is pretty nuts, especially paired with the Rel is going to be a super, super volatile lane in the bottom lane. I've actually run this lane a few times, and it feels really good as the Tristana. So super hyped for
Seems
that
scary.
bot lane. It does seem really scary. However, there's good and bad to every situation. Unfortunately, we're not going to get to see a lethality Zaya in this game. I know everyone is a bit sad about that, but it's okay. We get to two pretty cool bot lanes instead here. Monkeys in Training going to pick up this Nautilus for to round out that support position in the bottom lane.
I mean, yeah, Nautilus is your very clear engage. It gives you options, and I mean, when other champions might fail to catch a Tristana, you just throw the R down if you're Nautilus, and you catch up to her very easily. And we do see the Echo locked in. Where do you think that's going?
It could be in the mid lane or the jungle. Those are probably the two main roles. It kind of depends. I think could be used as a flex pick. I'd definitely rather see it in the mid lane though. But I'm seeing people saying in the jungle. But we'll see.
I mean,
We'll see. Arc gonna give Phoenix the Vigar again. This pick got through first ban phase again. So I would have liked to see maybe a Vigar ban instead of a Sejuani, but that's just me.
yeah, I mean, the Sejuani has persisted in all 3 of the games so far, so it's definitely something that Arc is aware, or Monkeys is aware of, and they fear a bit more than the Veigar. They might have felt that it's not the biggest problem, but we do see this locked in. We see 2 of the picks mirrored from last game in the Rel and the Veigar, so Arc is still shaping up to be a very dangerous comp, just as they were last game.
Definitely, and those 2 picks, Vigar is good for zone control, getting picks. Rel is also good for getting picks, but she's definitely wants to be into the backlines, getting magnet storms on multiple people. And with this, we can definitely see some top lane bans coming through here. Monkeys in Training going to go for the Vigar and the Aurelia, and Arc is going to ban away Poppy and Pantheon again. And Arc Quake instantly locks in a Warwick. What do you think about that?
I don't have the words to describe how I feel.
Wow.
It's not a great feeling, I'd say, maybe.
It's not a good one.
I guess I'm unsure. Not really know what to expect of it.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a banger in the top lane for MIT. We're gonna get an Ornn, and it's time, baby. I love Ornn.
Guys, he's been practicing for this for 3 weeks.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Hold on. Don't build it up like this. That's just not true. You're just straight up lying to the people right now. What's up with that? How can they trust us if you're just
I'm a
gonna lie to
man
them
of
like
the
this?
people, would not do that. But we are seeing this timeout, so we should see the Nico locked in. So this does tell us that it's going to be the Echo in the jungle. I mean, unless they want to run Orange jungle. It's always a possibility.
I would prefer them not to do that, but it's not my choice at the end of the day. Nico going to be the final lock in for MIT here, and I would only imagine that this top lane for Arc Quake will be picked up next. Something that's got to battle into the Ornn here, and we're seeing a set hover.
I think that's
I
a good pick.
don't. Yeah, it's a solid pick. I mean, we've seen this matchup. I think we saw it last week. Yeah, we saw it last week, not on this broadcast, but on the Monkeys on the MIT game. It was the set into
No,
Ornn
we saw
matchup,
they were
right?
in different games. We saw a set
Okay.
into Aurelia, and then we saw Alawi into Ornn.
Okay. I'm a bit mixed up, but either way,
A
Ornn
little bit
into set. You like that
different.
matchup?
I think it's very playable, especially if you're the Ornn, because this is what we saw. I believe it was Blippo that liked this pick into during Worlds into the Ornn. We can definitely see, because I mean, whenever he tries to do the Ornn Horn, you just throw him into his team, and that's a lot of damage coming out. And then you have he trades fairly well still, because with the grit, it's a lot of true damage, and he can punch through that armor that the Ornn will be building up, obviously. But I don't know. I like the matchup. I feel it's very doable. It's not like the hardest counter that you can have into the Ornn, but it's still very good.
All right, so Michael's feeling it. Obviously, the side of Arcquake is feeling it. Captain Ryu got his counter pick in the top lane. We are into the client pick ban, so we're going to see a lot of the same coming out that we've already been seeing for the past 2 games. And I do want to remind you, this is game 3. This will determine which team will no longer be undefeated. Both of these teams are the only undefeated teams left in their division, in the Shadow Isles division. MIT and Arcquake, only teams that are 2-0. Revolution dropped their game last week. No, when did they?
They
They
dropped
dropped the
it.
game at some point, but they're not undefeated anymore. Either way, there can only be one. So this game 3 has a lot riding on it. I do want to highlight though. Let's see. Nico into the Vygar in the mid lane. What are you thinking about that?
It's a very interesting matchup because I feel that it is pretty hard. I mean, it can be very hard for both of these players to, or these champions to navigate this lane, but I feel that Veigar does come out on top just with how much he can control the lane with his E. And I feel that there's only so much Nico can do to snake the, I don't know what it's called, the Nico E through the creeps and try to get that extend stun on to get the good Q trade into the Veigar. But also,
Right.
this is the different Nico that we're seeing. This is not the Nico of game 1.
That's a good point. Yeah, in game 1, Killstera was on the Nico in the bottom lane. And obviously, this pick for MIT is a nice little flex pick that they got rocking. I think it would have been interesting to see them pick it up earlier in the draft as more of like a potential,
It's
flex
to
pick.
make it, yeah, to make it actually be the flex. Instead,
Yeah,
I mean, they did like in the Kaisa first pick, so it's kind of harder to do that once with such a prio pick open.
yeah,
But
makes sense.
the only real issue there, I mean, dare I call it an issue? The only real question mark that I have regarding this draft is 6 foot max. What is he gonna do on the Warwick?
Yeah, this is definitely a very odd pick. I am a bit confused by it. That being said, Warwick is a champion who has a lot of reliable CC. If you can get onto someone, you have a fear, you have a suppress, you have ability that even tracks movement. However, it's a very linear champion, and this is what we saw last game as well, where Arc likes to draft these linear compositions where it's just run straight at you. Um, we saw the Scion and also who else did we see? I've already forgotten. The
Oh, it was
Scion, Vi, Rel, just
yeah.
running straight at you, right? So pretty similar in this game. Yeah, Instead, Warwick, Set, Rel. Um,
Just as a little bit of a tidbit of information, this is 6 Foot Max has a single ranked game of Warwick in the past 3 seasons. Though it is a win, so I guess they're feeling confident about it.
yeah, I guess they are feeling confident about it. We are about to get into this 3 minute spectator delay here, and we can talk a little bit more about these matchups. But
Sorry,
yeah, I mean,
I need to make my bet. I put 2,000 onto
you're going
onto
two
Arc.
2,000 on Arc.
Yeah, I gotta.
I looks like we're gonna be battling it out on opposite sides here because I put 2,000 on MIT.
I mean, hey, I'll
So
give my pitch. We see Vagar running back that we see Vagar and Redneck both running back their picks. That's very strong. We saw them work successfully in that last game, and I mean, the Vagar may have got struggled a little bit in the lane, but in those team fights, he was very effective. And we see the set in the top lane. That should be a very good matchup in the Ornn. I mean, if you ever get a Nautilus onto your carry, you just ult that person right back into their team. The set can be very disrupted in these fights with the Rel, and can make it very hard for monkeys in training to actually navigate these fights. And then you have Warwick.
yeah, you do have a 100% Warwick win rate player
Exactly.
over 3 years. That's a
It's
long
insane.
time to not lose a game.
Yeah, it's really
So
impressive.
I guess you know what? Maybe I should have switched my bet. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm staying with my boys. MIT, they came out game one, showed a lot of promise, super clean game, aside from one, little mistake that almost cost them the game. Um, but either way, though, they got the Kaisa. They got nice little scaling coming on here with the Ornn items. Kaisa in the late game. Echo eventually will be able to one shot these squishy carries. And then we've already seen the power that Nico is in the hands of, one of these MIT players. So I'm still sticking with my MIT squad. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna get that dub in the channel point prediction here. I can feel it.
I mean, we'll surely have to see. But right now, we are obviously in this competitive integrity delay, but I'm very excited to see how this series turns out because these teams, like we were talking about pregame and in between all of these games, these teams are the 2-0 teams. They're competing for first in their group, and they just want to show that they can be competitors. We heard from the side of Monkeys, from the side of their staff, that this is the year. This is the Monkeys' year. We know they have a lot of star-studded players on their bench, but these five aren't doing half bad themselves.
Yeah, something I do want to mention: the Monkeys roster is stacked. And most of a lot of these players, they're big name returning players that are sitting as subs for them right now, which is very interesting. These guys, the squad that we're seeing right now, obviously has practiced together the longest. They've developed that chemistry, they've developed the synergy, they feel comfortable playing with each other. But it is worth mentioning that the amount of power that they do have on the bench.
Because we have the likes of Dog Woof Woof,
He's
Serm,
now known as Ambition.
yeah, Ambition, Serm. Those are the two that I can recall off the top of my head.
Yeah, and
But if you guys watched,
obviously as the year goes on, but go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you guys watched Silver Scraps, they were talking about, or I think it was Colonel that called out, if they could have that team fielded also, that'd be the second place team in their group.
Yeah, first place team would be MIT, second place team would be MIT subs. And that's not really what you want to hear if you're any other team in this division. That is a scary sight to hear, but obviously Arc wants to make first place theirs. And if they play like they did in game two, there's a very high chance of that happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's very impressive. I mean, now we're looking at across this, nothing too out of the ordinary again. We see Phoenix taking that Ignite once again, trying to pick up those kills for himself. And, I mean, if we take a look at Tristana's mastery points, Maximus has 400,000 on this Tristana. That's a lot of mastery points.
That's a lot of Tristana indeed. And when you're playing in a lane against someone as comfortable as that on the champion, you have to remember that in the back of your head. Like, dang, I got to be careful. You know what I mean? This guy's on comfort pick. And could be definitely scary if you are the bottom lane of MIT. If you get caught, and I mean, both of these bottom lanes actually do have really solid pick potential and a lot of burst damage.
Yeah, both of these teams definitely need to be careful. We do have the Tristana W buffer, so she's a little bit safer than that Kaisa because the E only gets you so far, and then you need to wait till level 6 for that ultimate. But Rel can be dangerous in these early games. What again, like you were mentioning earlier, she's also very vulnerable after she does hop in.
Yep. So we will see what happens here. We are finally through with this loading screen. I'm gonna hop in to the Rift in a few seconds here as we're still getting over some loading, but we are there now for game 3.
Oh,
Okay,
never mind.
we're at a pause. Close. Um,
Still call it out.
what is
Call out
that?
the teams.
All right, okay, I'll call it out. You already know how it is for the side of MIT. We got Crockpot in the top lane on Ornn, Bird Nurse in the jungle on Echo, Chinese Spy on Nico in the mid lane, and Killistera and Shadow Stealer on Kaisa and Nautilus in the bottom lane.
And then we have on the other side Captain Ryu on the set in the top lane, 6-foot Max on that Warwick in the jungle, Phoenix on the Veigar in the mid lane, Maximus returning again with Rednick in the bot lane with that Tristana and Rel.
Yeah, and this is definitely, I mean, we've highlighted this bottom lane a lot, right? Let's not forget about this top lane matchup that we got going on. We got Conqueror on the set into the grasp from the Ornn. Now this top lane is going to be wild. Ornn is one of these champions that just does 1,000,000 damage for like 0 reason at all.
Dude, he's an assassin by class.
He is an assassin by class indeed, and we are we got a nice solid game 3.
Oh, it looks like
for us all here. We're gonna get a little bit of an invade on opposite sides of the map. This is a bit awkward. The best kind, yeah. No, meeting no one.
It's interesting to see this come out in the third game. Both of these teams were hiding the strat, obviously, in the first 2 games. They both just obviously did the 5 points, and now we're seeing a little bit of invades, but they're not gonna find anyone on either side of the map.
Yeah, and I wonder if anyone will stay to try to steal away this camp, this opposing camp rather, from the other people here. It looks like maybe Arc will stay and try to take away this red buff from Bird Nurse. All of them are sitting in the area as well, but MIT opt to just make the safe play, go back home, go back to the blue buff for Bird Nurse, and end up playing it safe. I want to see if there's a check here at all from MIT's bottom lane to check and see if this is getting spotted out or not. It doesn't look like it at all, so this might be a clean red buff steal for Arc, and that will be really, really rough if Bird Nurse is not able to make that up somewhere else.
Yeah, no, Bird Nurse could be aware of this and could just be opting to start the blue, or is just assuming as much and then is just going to go straight for the red, but looks like, I mean, obviously the Echo clear is slower, but doesn't look like they have any inclination of trying to go for that red steal.
It looked like there was a ward actually in the tri-bush for bottom lane, so they did see, MIT bot lane did see Arc bot lane walk through there. So I think they do actually know that that play happened. I would have liked to see Bird Nurse just run straight to the red buff. Unfortunately though, maybe it looks like he might go now, as 6-foot is still on that blue buff back home now in the bottom lane to go flash forward. Gonna get the knockup and a stun on Killistera. Gonna have to burn the flash to try to get away, as well as the heal. But both support sums for AD carry sums, you'll 100% take that if you are Arc.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we see a little bit more aggression here. Not too much gonna come of it though. But something we didn't point out is that Tristana opted to go the PTA. I know some Tristanas like to go the oh, what's it called? Hail of Blades. But instead we see the PTA this game, and that could have been the kill difference because Tristana's attack speed level 1 was not, those attacks were not coming out fast.
Yeah, Tristana feels really bad actually. You attack so slow at level 1. I do want to mention though, Bird Nurse able to run and take away that red, but for now we're fighting in the top lane here. Gank is coming through, gonna have to bring the flash away from Captain Ryu to get out, and that's a solid conversion there from Bird Nurse, able to steal away the red buff back for themselves, and then also get a gank top lane.
Yeah, no, it was a very good conversion, very good move coming out from Bird Nurse, even given that invade starting off. Crockpot could be in a little bit of trouble, but it looks like Captain Ryu is just gonna end up farming the wave. Nothing's gonna happen of that, barring the loss of both summoner spells by Captain Ryu.
Yeah, and I think this is a really, really important play because into an Ornn, if you have no flash, the lane becomes really scary. Ornn can one-shot you very easily here, and a good job of a
Oof.
face breaker haymaker combo by Captain Ryu to mitigate that knockup from Crockpot, and a lot of damage traded back and forth. But now Shatter Steel are gonna land a hook onto Maximus. Looks like not much is gonna happen after this, just trading back and forth. A little bit of CC, a little bit of damage here and there, but nothing too notable.
Looks like could be a return gank up in the top lane by Bird Nurse.
Yeah, Birdness looking for a return gank. No flash on Captain Ryu, so it is available, but 6 Max is also going to sniff this one out here, and potentially a 2v2 is ensuing in the near future, but Bird Nurse is going to take his talents elsewhere, as he does not want to fight a werewolf this early in the game. Or any time in the game, probably, honestly.
Yeah, Warwick with his W is a very good duelist, and so definitely not something that you can look to try to continually fight. I mean, if you're a very fed Echo, you could try to one-shot, but past that, you do not want to fight that Warwick alone.
Definitely not here, and for the time being, just a lot of farming going on here. I do want to mention, look at the CS discrepancy in the top lane. 2-wave advantage for Crockpot, but there is a big wave crashing onto that top tower, so Captain Ryu should be able to even that out just a little bit more. So it shouldn't look as bad. In the mid lane, it's about even, and in the bottom lane, a little bit under a wave advantage for Killstera. Other than that, a very relaxed early game here. For the most part, I do expect to see another repeat gank into the top lane by Bird Nurse. Maybe we can see Crockpot freezing a wave near his tower or something of that nature to try to force the overextension. But now into the bottom lane he goes. The hook is going to land onto Maximus. Now Redneck going into the backline, trying to dive, see what he can do. A lot of damage onto Shadow Steel. They're going to have to burn the flash to try to get away, as well as the Ignite taking down from both supports, but no kills come out of it yet. But now Bird Nurse is in the area. No flash available on this Rel. One more auto should do it. Oh, and a great usage of stun, but the Ignite is going to land onto Max. Is going to burn the flash to try to get away, and the rocket jump to safety will cause for no deaths yet in this game. And these players are playing on a knife's edge right now.
Yeah, these plays are coming out very close. This bottom lane is crazy close. And we see Orc getting collapsed on by the Nico as we see another top lane fight.
Top lane fight coming through here. Ornhorn is gonna miss. He does not have the forward gut on speed dial. But either way, the first blood gonna come through for Captain Ryu as the just fractions of a second before the kill was given over by himself. It's a 1-for-1 in the top lane. But look at the wave and look at this bottom side of the fight. Now 6 Max is in. Pop Blossom gonna land onto 2 members. Good stun. Heal is gonna be forced out by Maximus, and Maximus is really low health, but he's not gonna go down yet. 6 Max will take down Shadow Steel, and Ornn is trying to get into the back line here, but the rocket jump to safety will secure Tristana's life. Now it's a 2-4-0 in favor of Arc Quake, and this should be the Dragon as well going over.
Yeah, no, this should be the Dragon going over. 6 Max, able to stay alive due to the Warwick pass. I mean, he's just so much lifesteal, and it's so hard to actually take them down.
Really hard indeed, and you know, especially early game, this Warwick has so much. He gains increased attack speed based on how low he is, or how low the target is. And there were so many low targets in that fight that 6 Max was able to just smack him down with the claws in that one.
Yeah, and I want to point out, Maximus by all accounts should have died in that fight.
Yes.
Maximus got caught by the Nico R and just ended up barely scraping by after running away from the Ornn, barely being able to jump out.
Yeah, I was just, like I said, playing on a nice edge and not enough damage for MIT to secure the kill on that AD carry, as that likely could have meant the fight won in their favor.
Yeah, now we see a little bit of a reversal in this mid lane matchup. We see Phoenix coming out with the advantage in this mid lane.
Yeah, so far an advantage for Phoenix. Facebreaker is gonna miss, and a nice trade from Crockpot gonna take away about half HP from Captain Ryu. Both junglers likely making their way up into this top side pretty soon, and we'll see. Continuing trading in the mid lane, but we'll see which jungler can make their move next. As 6 Max is certainly winning out the early game so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary enough that 6 Max is winning out the early game, but then you also have the Veigar winning, and the scaling there is just going to be insane. It's much easier to navigate in these team fights, because with Nico, you need to be in the middle of them. It looks
Now
like we're going to have more fighting. Ooh.
Ornhorn flashed away by Captain Ryu, and that flash cooldown is gone again, but now Chinese Spy looking for it. Gonna find the root, flash away from Phoenix to safety to get out of that Pop Blossom, and that Pop Blossom would have meant death if the flash was not available in time. And now the big wave shoving in. Killistera should be able to secure most of this. No threat of a dive that much. Both junglers are on the top side here, and maybe we're gonna get a 2v2 in this top lane yet again. But now we're gonna see Crockpot going a bit too far under the tower, and Captain Rio gonna use the body slam to try to get him in a less advantageous position. Oh, baby! Warwick flying through at the speed of light. Now gonna burn the flash to get away from Crockpot. And Bird Nurse is found in a rough situation. But no one will go down yet, as Warwick just flew by at Mach 10 on that one.
That's unlucky. That's all I'm going to say. That's unlucky, unfortunate. A lot of uns. But
as many uns as you can think of, that was it. But yeah, for the time being, still gold lead. Pretty negligible, about 600 in favor of Quake. That's due to those 2 kills. But other than that, still no flashes in this top lane. I really want to see more ganks here. And like I said, right as I say that, 6Max is up here. Gonna get this Sphere. Unstoppable, good usage, but it's not enough as Captain Ryu is gonna slam the Haymaker down and secure that kill for himself. Now 2-1-0 on this set. He's got 150 gold shutdown to his name. He's feeling pretty good despite being down about 2.5 waves.
yeah, no, Seth's definitely feeling good in this matchup. It only, I mean, doesn't really only get better from here, but it's definitely, you should be safer from now on with how much damage you can put into this Ornn. Ornn does have the Bramble Vest and the Bombies, so it still is pretty difficult. And I want Mike the Tiger, you do not try to encourage another lethality ADC this game, please. Thank you.
Yeah, we should reserve the lethality carries for Xayah, I think is the angle here.
The optimal lethality
the optimal
ADC.
lethality carry
But
champion.
we also see something that's interesting to me. Killistera still has not back.
Yeah, wow. That is very interesting. Sitting on almost 3,000 gold. It's like the B key has been removed from the keyboard.
They're waiting to back with enough gold for their full Duskblade.
That is true. Yeah, we have not yet confirmed that it is not a lethality Kaisa yet. But look at that damage on Captain Ryu in the top lane. This is the power of the Ornn, baby.
And then we see the Facebreaker just falling a little bit short, or that could have been a decent return trade coming out from them. Now, still pretty calm game, all things considered.
Yeah, only 5 kills, about 12 minutes here, and it is game 3. It's understandable, you know. These guys they have to play a bit more reserved because this game, you know, determines first seed in their group. Who will be the last undefeated squad? And neither of these teams want to make that play that just, you know, loses the game and throws for themselves. So I can understand.
If the game is to continue like this, though, if the teams are to play this carefully, who comes out on top come 30 minutes?
It does become hard to say. I really think that it depends on, you know, obviously the play from both of them. But we're going to get a fight into the top lane again here as Ornhorn will be sounded. Captain Ryu is looking rough, but he's going to use the showstopper to get out, put himself in a better situation. But Ornn is breathing down on him. Does he have enough damage to finish it off? No, the pillar wide right. And that was surely would have been the solo kill for Crockpot in that top lane. Just a hair to right on that cast time. And we do see now that our Quake starting up this dragon already. The teleport from Captain Ryu should be able to secure this one. But that does give MIT a teleport advantage. Yeah, that does give MIT a teleport advantage even more than they already had. They had 2. But yeah, that was nothing to contest if there is a cross map play from anyone on Arc.
Kalistera, realizing they didn't go the lethality build, is a little bit AFK right now. But I mean, they are playing Kai'Sa, so I'd be fine with a collector second item, but they are opting for either the Noon Quiv or the, oh my gosh, the Gale Force or the Kraken Slayer here. Ooh.
Okay, 6 foot Max looking for a kill onto Kalistera, but now a use of the ultimate gonna knock up Redneck. We're gonna wait and see where the Magnet Storm comes through. Hook's gonna land onto Reddick, and now there's a potential opportunity here. Magnet Storm gonna pull back too, but the Ignite is ticking down. A few more autos should do it, but the Ignite is gonna do it instead. The Shadow Stealer is going to secure that kill. Now a 4v5 in favor of MIT, but the Crockpot TP was used. And look at the top side, Captain Ryu smacking away at this tower. The plates are gone, but the tower health is getting relatively low. I mean, it's about half HP now, and it was pretty much full after that. Before that play.
Come on.
Oh my gosh, just tanking the tower shots. He does not care. Set does not like losing, so he just doesn't. Now, nice usage of the dredge line to cancel out on Maximus Rocket Jump, and the heal is going to be burned to get away, but that was really, really mistimed, actually, by Maximus, but a good job by Shadow hitting that max range pull. Now Chinese Spy and Phoenix going back in. Pop Blossom's going to be burned, and this is a lot of damage on that Q. Ignite's going to drop down. Not yet finding the damage yet, but 6 foot Max is in the area. Bird Nurse as well to save his mid laner. And for the time being, no kills in the mid lane, but it's certainly getting close.
Yeah, this has been very close both times. When Nico went in onto the Veigar just barely had flash up.
Oh baby, the flash forward Bird Nurse gonna find the kill onto Phoenix under the tower, and that was a great usage right there. But now Chinese Spy TPing into the top lane. Oh, Shadow is Chinese Spy, good usage of the clone, gonna block out that Warwick ultimate, almost potentially, you know, finding a kill for themselves here. But the root's gonna land on the Captain Ryu, gonna have to burn the flash to try to get away from that Nico Q, as that is doing a lot of damage. And what did we say about this Nico and Champion Select? Anyone on MIT can pilot this thing.
Yeah, no, that was a very good play. I mean, assuming it was intentional, that was an insane play coming out with the clone to block the Warwick ult. But I mean, hey, we can give it to 6 foot Max if we want to. That could be his first hit ultimate this game.
That is. I think that is the first hit ultimate of the game for 6 Max. But nonetheless, it was a pretty nice outplay. But now it's setting up a 3-man dive in the top lane here. Ornn obviously would have to start up the tanking, but they decide against it as they had no wave.
It's interesting to me how with the three people pressuring top, off the reset, Captain Ryu goes to the bottom lane. They start off the lane swap early.
Yeah, this seems interesting. Obviously 50 seconds on Herald. Maybe it's a Herald swap?
They were able to get the tower in that trade, so you definitely want the Tristana out of the lane so she can keep pushing turrets. So you're definitely just trying to send Tristana to a lane, but are they just gonna trade that top tower to Ornn?
Yeah, they're not sending anyone top lane to try to match this Ornn. It looks like they're just sacking the top tower, which is odd. Obviously, this next wave should be able to take it down, but that's a confusing play. It looks like they maybe messed up their lane assignments or something like that.
Yeah, the tower ends up falling for free, so now towers are even up on both teams. The gold is very even. But we are seeing Arc sitting with a 2-dragon advantage.
Yeah, now with the Herald spawning in about 7 seconds, it looks like Arc is already in position to take that on spawn. They have their Tristana up in the top side. They have Warwick and Rel there as well, and they're just going to start up the Herald right on spawn here. With the Dragon coming up in 45 seconds, this gives an opportunity for MIT to set up their vision and take control of this bottom side river.
I mean, they're doing this so slowly too. It's a Rel.
Wait a minute here as the knockup's gonna come through onto Phoenix. This is the pick for them. Kalistera, Killer Instinct, gonna take down Phoenix, and that is the pick that they needed. Now this dragon should be theirs. However, it's gonna be traded for the Rift Herald.
And the top
as well as Tristana just shoving down top lane without a care in the world.
They could look to drop
Chinese
Rift
Spy.
Herald.
Yeah, Chinese Spy has to go over there, but might just find 2 members of Arc. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to drop the Rift Herald right away. 6 foot Max is going to burn the ultimate. They're going to land suppression onto Chinese Spy. But now China Spy has to run for the hills, uses the Brother Belt to try to get out of that rel engage, and is safe for the time being. But 3 members strong for our Quake in this top side. Shelly will surely get a charge onto this inhibitor tower and take it pretty low. But now Captain Ryu going in, trying to do it again to stop this dragon. Now Showstopper going to go onto Killistera, but is enough damage there? No, it is not. Shutdown gifted over to Killistera, now sitting 2-0-1 on this Kaisa. Look at the CS lead now for Maximus in the top lane, up 30, right? That's 30 this time. I got that right?
Yeah, about right. Or it's
And then
actually
20
perfect. It's actually perfectly 20 in the top lane.
Yeah, and perfectly 20. Not anymore, but yeah, about 20 in the top lane there. So in favor of Crockpot, sorry. And also about 30 in favor of Chinese Spy in the mid lane. So Chinese Spy showing that he is certainly one of the best mid laners in this league, as pretty much dominant laning performances all around, I would say. Just giant CS leads in every game.
Yeah, this Veigar, I think was off to an early good start, but then it has fallen off a bit and it's gotten caught and fallen victim to that team of MIT.
Yeah, MIT just showing a lot more team play and coordination here. It looks like, aside from that, you know, misplay on the top side where they didn't send anyone there to defend the top at all with the Herald.
Well,
they got a dragon out of
yeah,
it.
okay. No, they
Yeah,
sent. They sent Chinese Spy. Chinese
yeah,
Spy
I mean,
just
that's
wasn't
after
able to
they
do
give
enough.
2 towers.
It almost,
2 towers
yeah.
and the Herald. Come on.
Not the best.
I mean, I got the
play.
dragon though. They
Yeah.
delayed the soul point. They delayed soul, so that's good. Now
This
the
is
gold lead
Mountain
still in
Soul.
favor. Yeah, gold lead still in favor of Arcquake. Mountain Soul delays that just a bit more.
Whoa.
And look at Arcquake. Onto the Baron they go. And I don't think anyone on MIT has vision here. So they have no idea. And they're all on the bottom side. So this looks like a potential successful sneak. Maybe Shadow will walk up and find it up here. Health bars are getting a bit low on 6 foot, about half HP. Now we're going to see it is spotted out, and the boys are pulling up for MIT. 3k health on the Nash here, and the Pop Blossom is in. Going to stun up to Killistera. Chinese Spy will take down Maximus, but now the fight is ensuing. A lot of low health bars here. Captain Ryu gonna get a stride breaker onto 3. Now he will go down. Phoenix is left the only person against 3 members of MIT. Nice usage of the box, but he's still gonna get stunned down. Oh, he has enough damage to get the one shot onto Birdnest. The flash forward from Killistera is gonna secure a double kill for the Kaisa, and that's a 5 for 3 in favor of MIT. And I can appreciate the play.
The game was not that doomed. You do not need to flip that Baron.
I appreciate the play trying to sneak it, but you gotta get off it earlier.
Yeah, you do not have the health bars to try to stay on it for as long as you can. And that's a little bit of a throw coming out from Arc.
Yeah, the gold lead has now shifted 600 in favor of MIT, and at the beginning of that fight, I was just kind of stunned. Like, what is going on? I can't believe this is happening right now. But
Hey, not what
they didn't
you expect
pull off
to
it
see.
at all. Definitely not really expecting there, but nonetheless, MIT now sitting with a gold lead. Testing, and Arc pulled an MIT from game 1.
Hey, if I still had my hiccups, that would have gotten rid of them. I would have been so scared.
Yeah, well, good thing you don't.
We do see the Ornn item starting to roll in just for Ornn right now, but he does have that Forge Fire Crest.
The Forge Fire Crest, let's go. Yeah, these items for Ornn, upgrading his team should be coming in here in the near future. As that just applies really solid scaling here. Scuttle Crab in the bot side will be taken away by Crockpot and his pillar. It's a nice work there, but now Shadow Stealer might be walking into the whole team of MIT. A lot of people in this bottom lane river. It's the dragon spawning in about a minute, trying to set up this vision so far. And Reddit could be walking up a bit forward. Gonna get stunned up, finding stun for himself. Now Magnet Storm is gonna be pretty big. Now from the side, Showstopper onto Killistera. Killistera has to burn the heal to try to get away, but now that will be suppressed by Warwick. Warwick will be able to finish the shutdown onto Killistera. Now the low health bars are given on the other side of the fight. Bird Nurse able to take down Maximus, and the low health bars all around. Captain, you're gonna drop the haymaker down. It's a pretty big shield, and Crockpot smacking him down. Gonna get the knockup on to 6 foot Max, and that should be enough as MIT gonna come out on top, 5 for 3.
It's another 5 for 3.
Another 5 for 3, and the dragon spawning in 16 seconds. should mean that MIT just goes for it on spawn here. Still 19 seconds on 6 foot. And there's just so much CC for this team. Crockpot gonna get the mid wave pushed in. Chinese Spy gonna clear out a little bit of vision, and now this dragon should be started up here. Hopefully for themselves, they are able to secure this, but Rednick is on the case. He's running it down, trying
Say that
to
again.
find
Rednick
anything
is
he
on
can.
the case. This
Yeah.
Rel.
Yeah.
Wait,
Rel.
is she?
Wait, she single-handedly
scared
got him
him
off the
off?
dragon. What?
Oh my
What?
gosh.
No.
Oh my god.
The damage, I guess. Scary champion. 1v5. Okay, I just knocked over my water. All good. Interesting play there. After Ryu walking up into the top side now. No TP available, so a numbers advantage for MIT for this dragon here. As gonna set up more vision. Looks like they're just gonna go for it and just hit it. They feel like with the numbers advantage, they should not have an issue securing this, but we will see as Kilostera is getting zoned out pretty hard by Maximus. The dragon has been started up here, and 6 foot is trying to get in. 2k HP gonna block out on that suppression by the Ornn, taken pretty low as 6 foot is down. Red team will not be able to get in for the dragon as blue Birdness will be able to secure. 6 foot max still really low. Finally, Magnus Storm -3. Bird Pop Blossom, jeez. Will be enough to knock up onto Maximus coming through. Now Bird Nurse is low in the pit in the middle of 2 members, and he will go down, but Chinese Spy will take down Phoenix in the meantime. Shadow Steel gonna flash into the sweet spot of the Haymaker, but it doesn't even matter because Crockpot is running through the team. Rednick runs for the hills as the last member alive for Arc Quake, and will the horse be able to get out? I don't really think so, as the pillar gonna pull out. The stop will be there, and the flash forward will secure it as another ace for MIT.
Hey, but this time it was 5 for 2. So each one of these plays,
5 for 3.
each one of these plays, Arc is getting a little bit less.
Yeah, this is getting crazy because now MIT is starting to stack up these mountain dragons. This added resistances for their teams. Plus 12% armor and magic resist so far. And as we can see, it's getting really hard to kill this Ornn. No one on the team, no one on Arc can take him down.
Yeah, this Ornn is crazy strong, and I mean, we see Warwick in these fights, but the 6 foot max opted into the Sunfire, so they're not doing any damage.
Yeah, this is it definitely becomes hard because you have a front line. For MIT, you have a frontliner who just basically can never die. He can create so much space in these team fights. He's got the Ornn. He's got a knockup. He does 1,000,000 damage because for some reason this champion is broken, you know. And the Forge God is on speed dial.
Yeah, this fight is so hard to pull off if you are Arc this game. There's only so much you can do with the tankiness on the side of MIT. Because, I mean, you have the Tristana, but your Tristana's falling behind, so she's not able to actually punch through these tanks, but it looks like we're going to get another engage right here.
Yeah, maybe a pick onto Shadow Steel. Going to burn the knock-up on to Warwick, and as well as the suppression. Going to pull back Captain Rio. Nice stun coming out from Chinese Spy, and a potential Pop Blossom available here, but a nice, there it is. Pop Blossom's going to be 3-man, is pretty big. Rednick and 6 foot max pretty low, and now the Ornn TP is coming through. Nice stun from Captain Rio. On the other side, he's going to secure a double kill for himself, but the Blast Cone is there now. Maximus finds in the middle of 3, gonna burn the rocket to get out, and a double kill for Chinese Spy. And now Maximus trying to make the hero play 1v3. What can you do if you're the Tristana? Main thing is Phoenix was not there for that team fight at all. Phoenix pushing the bottom side, and this is a member that you need to fight with if you're Arc Quake.
Yeah, without the Veigar there, without the box, it just makes it way too easy for Bird Nurse and Chinese Spy to get onto your team, and that's all that they need to do to actually make these fights work.
Yes, indeed. And with the dragon, now still 2 minutes left on the dragon. These Ornn upgrades are coming through. Upgraded arrow pack for the Nico. Upgraded arrow pack for the Echo. And you know, with these items, it just adds a level of scaling into this team that we already knew. You know, they would scale hard anyway, and we're just seeing it even more come through with these items.
But we don't even see the Wormfall and Sacrifice out yet.
Wormfall and Sacrifice, we can look forward to that one soon. That one's coming soon.
Soon, TM.
soon, TM indeed. And for the time being, obviously, not too much action going on here as the big objective is going to be this dragon in a minute. But I do expect these teams to walk into this bottom side river, start setting a vision. We already see Arc is getting on that as we speak. Now Captain Rio has the teleport available. So there's definitely potential for a cross-map play there. And I'd say you have to send Chinese Spy to try to match because he's the only member on MIT that has the teleport right now.
Yeah, you have to send somebody to match, but it looks like Captain Ryu doesn't even want to keep splitting. They now are opting to go back up into that top lane, and that's what they need to do. They need to draw pressure away. It's still not Soul for MIT, so you still have a little bit of time if you are Arc. And if you are me, you are hoping that Arc is able to get this dragon.
Yeah, with the dragon spawning in about 25 seconds here, it looks like MIT is already there and in position for it. We'll see if Maximus and Rednick walk into the hands of a big boy Ornn. Here's Rednick. Gonna be taking a little bit of damage. But for now, check this out. Arc is just pushing the lanes, pushing top and mid, drawing pressure away from this dragon. But now Shadow's gonna land the dredge line onto Rednick, and Rednick gonna get popped by this Xayah. 2 members strong in the top lane now is gonna mean that someone has to match this push in the top side. Onto the inhibs they go, and this top lane inhib is gonna go down.
They're just keep going.
An end here. Chinese Spy is the only one left, and he is gonna go down pretty easily in the flash forward from Captain Rio, looking for the showstopper. Still get it. Nice usage of the Proto Buff. The Pop Blossom is there. Gonna burn the shield. Will be alive enough to keep him alive for the time being. Gonna get the shutdown on to Captain Ryu, but Captain Ryu will fall slowly after. And Birdnurse got the dragon in the team fight on the other side of the map. So an inhib and a kill for a kill and a dragon. That puts MIT on Soul Point. 3 Mountain Souls to their name. And that was a wild series of events right there.
Yeah, you had enough trouble killing this Ornn already. Now they have 3 mountain drags backing them up. This guy does not take damage.
Yeah, he is certainly a beefcake, as we call him in the industry, and you do not want to let MIT get this mountain soul.
No.
The thing is, they're in position, right? They're 5 minutes away, and the Baron is up, but the gold lead is still about 2K in favor of MIT. They're up 10 kills, but down 3 towers. So the tower play is not quite there for MIT this game, and Arc is doing their best to try to stay close with these objectives.
What surprises me is that the gold is this close. With the standing bounties and turrets, I mean, never mind. I guess I forgot that Arc actually has 3 more turrets than MIT. But with the bounties, that can still be a swing. That can be very detrimental if some reason or somehow MIT does slip up.
Yeah, one slip up will definitely, could turn the game either way. I mean, I think it's still a relatively even game. The fights are looking obviously MIT favored. However, one simple thing like a shutdown for Arc will obviously swing the game in their favor. So it's definitely okay. Birdnurse burning that Zhonya's a bit early. It's okay though, because no one on Arc saw it. But look at this top wave. Top wave, 2 supers are crashing.
Captain Ryu is bot
as well. Captain Ryu is bot, pushing down the inhib tower as well. He has a pretty big wave with him, so he should be able to get this
on
tower
the way.
Relatively easy here. It's taking a lot of damage from the tower, but nonetheless,
Oh my God.
Crockpot finally able to get there in time. Nice little chip out from Chinese Spy, and Crockpot able to save the bot lane inhibitor tower. But wait a minute, no, he's not able to save the tower, I guess. And MIT cedes control of the Baron because of good split push play by Captain Ryu. Now it looks like Shadow is gonna walk in and try to see what they can find. Ornn TP is coming through. This is gonna be the fight. They are looking for it. Knock up onto Maximus. Maximus taken pretty low, but a nice job peeling by great suppression. Now Ornn being called. Knock up onto 2. Showstopper into the back, gonna take out Ornn, and the Facebreaker onto 3 will secure the stun. Phoenix going golden, not gonna live for much longer though as he tries to get the 1-shot on the Chinese Spy. No, he will not find it. But Killaster on the other side of the fight, taking down Captain Rio. Gonna use the Killer Instinct. One more auto should do it. Yes, it is there. Now it is a 4 for 0 in favor of MIT. 6 foot running for the hills. Gonna maybe try and get this inhib on the bottom side, but this surely should mean a Baron for MIT.
Yeah, this is even worse than it's been going. I mean, like I was saying, with each of these fights, you just get fewer and fewer kills. If you are Arc, it's just so hard to perform in these fights, and especially when you're not all there together, and when the Ornal is insane value right there.
Yeah, nice usage of the Ornn ulti there by Crockpot, as well as the rest of the team. I mean, first of all, the dredge lines on to Maximus, able to chunk him out of the fight basically right off the bat. Makes it a lot easier for MIT to, you know, pilot these fights. And now with a 5.5k gold lead, up 14 kills, the Dragon spawning in a minute, they're wearing purple. Surely this is the opportunity for MIT to secure this Mountain Soul and become unkillable.
Yeah, no, this is a very critical point if you are Arc. You have to try to do something here. Be that steal it, be that go into the base and try to get something else.
Gotta make the hero play at some point, for sure.
We see Kalestera pushing out that wave. That wave is now pushed into the side of Arc. So it's not even pushing out for them. The super minions will be coming soon. Or actually, the Inhib might even be respawning. Yeah, the Inhib's respawning. There are no more super minions pushing that wave, so you gotta do something if you are Arc. You cannot win this straight up into their team. Unless some sort of IBS miracle occurs.
Yeah, here we go. Maybe a potential pick onto Phoenix here. Gonna pop the Banshees. Dredge will be used to pop it, but now we're going in. Stun. Good use of the box. Killer Instinct over the top. Coast. Let's go. Kaisa gonna secure the kill, and now it's a 4v5 in favor of MIT. Captain Rio gonna walk into Crockpot and look at the mid lane. Maximus trying his best to push the wave, try to draw pressure, but it looks like MIT is just gonna stick on the Dragon. They're gonna get Soul for themselves, and on to the Inhib towers they go. Chinese Spy might be walking into a 4 members. Like, what is this? Pop Blossom gonna land. 3-man stun, going golden. Captain Ryu is down. Ornhorn missed. Not even close. And doesn't even matter because the rest of MIT has pulled through, and that's a 5 for 0 ace in favor of MIT. The Mountain Soul is theirs. They're wearing purple. TP coming in from Chinese Spy into the top lane to try to push that wave as well.
That's so unfortunate.
6, but what can you do?
Captain Ryu ulted the ulting Nico onto Maximus, so Maximus wasn't able to finish out the kill.
Oh, man. That is really rough here, but now on to the middle and Inhib they go as any Spy is just shoving it up in the top lane, gonna secure an Inhib tower for themselves up there as the rest of the team will help out. Still, you know, 14 seconds on Maximus. This should be free, these 2 Inhibs. And I'd like to see, okay, no, they are not going for that top lane Inhib. They decided to reset instead. I'd like to mention 3 open Inhibs in the MIT base.
5 open Inhibs in this game.
5 open Inhibs in the game. The only lane left to be broken is this bottom lane.
Taken.
Yeah, one's already taken, but Kalestera 10, 3, and 8 on this Kaisa. Chinese Spy 8, 2, and 15 on this Nico. Bird Nurse 8, 3, and 10 on the Echo. All of these guys are putting in work, and that's not to say that, you know, Arc is not doing the same. Scorelines are not as good, but you know.
I think really it's just a miracle that with the scorelines that they had, that Arc are still kicking in this game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like they're still somehow staying in these fights, and I think it has to do with just a macro play. I mean, we've seen Captain Ryu just relentless on the sideline.
I mean, this is what characterized G2 when they were winning so much. When you took something from them, they would get something on the other side of the map. And so we see Arc trying to emulate that, but at this point, there's just, I mean, MIT is just hitting you with their wallets. They're so tanky, so hard to kill.
Yeah, this is why Captain Ryu is one of the best top laners in IBS. He knows the macro game really well. He's able to split push on the sides. He's able to draw attention. Fox is gonna land on a crockpot, but Fogger is not even gonna be able to break the shield.
Oh my gosh, 2 abilities on the shield still kicking, still there.
MIT,
so tanky.
Yeah, MIT able to secure that top lane Inhib for themselves. Ornn is just walking through the tower. He does not care at all. Gonna be able to secure the last outer tower, or tower out of the base in the game, rather. As well as they're going to continue their push onto this bottom lane. Birdner's going in. Now Showstopper into the back line. Captain Ryo is in. Going to land a Face Breaker onto 2, but the peel is there. Birdner's going golden as the Pot Blossom is going to land onto 3. This is pretty huge as the Ornhorn's coming through. Double kill for Killistera. Now Phoenix is firing away from the back line. Crockpot, triple kill for Phoenix. Killer Instinct going in. Phoenix going to go golden, but it's only going to delay the inevitable. Phoenix will go down. That's a quadra kill for Killistera. That should be the game as MIT comes up huge in that last team fight. Killistera putting in work on this Kai'Sa. The top wave is there. They're going to be able to take. The mid wave is there as well. These Nexus towers are falling, and there can only be one, and that one will be MIT. MIT remains undefeated in the spring split of the IBS.
MIT proves how strong they are. They prove that even with the stacked bench as they have, they are still strong as can be, and they are not afraid to take on these top teams. They played with confidence, they played with clear plans, and they played, most importantly, as a team.
As a team indeed, and MIT showing that they are the best team in the Shadow Isles division, 3-0, an insanely clean game 1, obviously aside from that one play. Game 2 is a bit rough, but nonetheless, they pulled it back out in game 3, able to take the commanding victory. The gold lead was over 10,000. I want to look at the damage charts real quick, but just so much work put in by these carries. Chinese Spy topping the charts, 34K. The next closest was 23K. So, I mean, just 10K damage more than anyone else in the game. And this is why MIT wanted to pick up Chinese Spy so much. This player obviously turned down from Feed the Dream, getting his vengeance on the whole rest of the division with MIT, and I'm sure they could not be happier.
I mean, hey, I had my big win today, so I guess it's only right that you get your big win. You get 7.6k channel
Let's
points
go,
for betting
baby. Let's
correctly.
go. Let's
But
go.
hey, this was a great series between two really good teams, and this isn't the end for ARC. They are still a really good team. They still have a lot to show in their group. They still have a lot to show in this split. This is still only the 3rd week, so there's a lot to go on. There's a lot to grow, and there's a lot to learn. And I feel that this team is very capable of it, and this could be a matchup that we see in the playoffs.
Yeah, I definitely expect this to be a matchup we see in the playoffs, and it went to 3. This is the first best of 3 we played so far on stream, and I'm super glad that it was this one because this one was an absolute banger. 2 of the top teams in this division going at it, battling it out in 3, and MIT able to take the victory in this game. That is going to do it for us here for week 3 of Zero Gravity Gaming in the IBS division. I've been Rychains, joined by my boy Michael. Hope you guys enjoyed the cast. Hope you guys enjoyed the set. And we'll see you guys not next week, but the week after. Come back here, though, for Colonel and Huey to cast IBS next Sunday. And that should be a great matchup as well. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys later.
See you guys.